Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just downhill. Sorry, there you are. There you are, my beauties. Come on, no. Why are you being so hard? Come on. Hey! Oh, no. Word up, y'all. Hello, everyone out in the void. I'm Zach. This is the Shaken Fist, and tonight we're going to probe the depths of the worst of humanity as we look at the bottom of the barrel. And tonight's guest, of course, is one, the great, the only, Mr. B.S. Lewis. How you doing, Mr. B.S. Lewis?
I wasn't sure there'd be enough room for me on this stream because your grift is so big.
Bam! Oh, yeah.
So very, very big.
It's very big indeed. It's the most big.
Yeah. It was a pretty slamming intro.
All the ladies.
Yeah. I gotta say, you got quite the voice for a rap song there. I was digging it.
Do you know what I think you do? The problem with that song is because it's by a Russian band originally called Little Big. They live in America now, and fuck it. But like it was hard trying not to do that with a Russian accent because the original songs, like, you know, they sing in English, but it's with Russian accent. So I was trying not to do that. But yeah, I love that song. It's great.
Yeah. You showed me the original song, and I felt really dirty after watching
You should. That song's fucking amazing. He made an 80s version of it that's really good. Oh, that band's funny as fuck. They have the best music videos. Everybody should check out Little Big. Little Big are amazing. They make funny music with even funnier music videos. And to be fair, they go hand in hand. They really do. No dancing girls again. I'm sorry, John. There's no dancing girls. I have titties though, right? And I have a dress I can wear. So if I danced around a little and, you know, we'll give him one of them, would that be enough? Huh? Little.
His grift is big. So big.
So big. Oh, I can't wait to do the music video for that. I've got so many ideas.
Just don't get yourself kicked out of YouTube.
No, I won't do. Well, I don't know, because sometimes, hey, everybody, you know, like and share the stream. This could be the only time it's been seen. I have done bottom of the barrel. This is the fourth time. Only one remains on YouTube. So, since only one remains on YouTube, then this might be a one-time event. YouTube keeps on, every time I do this, except for the last time I did it with Dave from Captive Dust, every time I do it, YouTube goes, "You're a fucking conspiracy theorist and you're trying to destroy the world, so we're not allowing this video up." And it's like, okay.
Fair enough, YouTube. Fair enough.
They don't even give me a chance to, like, rebut it or anything. They just say, fuck you. So that's cool.
Well, that means there's, like, not that much pressure on me, which I like that. Because, you know, it's probably not going to be up tomorrow. So I'll just go ahead and talk as much shit as I want.
So, Mr. Andrew, I use there's like a whole package of things called was it Power Director, and it's like a video editor, but then there's like a photo editor, and there's all sorts of different shit on it. So that's what I use for all this stuff. That's what made all my videos so much better. I went from using what the fuck was it? I can't even remember what it was called now. I used a different one. It was free, and then I ended up paying for it. I can't remember now. And now I use this. It's much better.
Yeah. My editing software is CapCut, in case you're interested, Andrew, and it's free. They have a paid version too, but they have a free one.
Because I used to do some animation, but I used to use Anime Studio Pro, and that shit was complicated. I made one 2D animation of a cat falling off a guy's arm and cutting his arm off because he had a hook on his tail. It was for a friend's show, and it took 4 days, and it
Yeah.
was like 9 seconds. No, it was like 15 seconds long.
That sounds about right.
But the thing was, is because like it had a bone system and a physics system, and you had to like take everything into account.
Oh, so it was model building. It wasn't pure frame by frame animation.
No, no, no. It was like keyframes and fucking bone systems and lightings. It was like a proper animator. It was hard.
Well, that stuff's cool because you can actually save your models. You just build a model, which takes a long time, but
Mhm.
then you just get to reuse the model by using it like a puppet. But
Yep. It was really good. It was time consuming. It's like I just finished up doing these Braxton Hunter videos and fucking I was just doing simple frame shot animation. Sometimes uh just like fucking sometimes 3 to 5 seconds ago, and that was still too much for me. I don't have the patience for that shit anymore. That's why everybody should go and like and subscribe on Mr. Lewis's YouTube channel and all of his videos and all of his magnificent animations and his very funny comedy.
yeah, it's frame by frame on my channel. I don't use no
Yeah,
stinking puppets.
sorry, go on. I was just going to put a couple. I forgot to put a couple of your videos in the fucking description that I meant to. I'll do that afterwards.
It's all good.
Go watch his pigeon video. Playing chess against each other, and it has tomorrow's co-host one Jimmy Tuck's TV in it in his other form. And actually, that reminds me, Mr. B.S. Lewis, why are you and Jimmy Texas never been seen in the same room together, have you?
No, because we're actually two people in a giant horse costume when we're
I
in
think
public.
you're the same person. I think you both are the same person. I've heard you both speak now on several occasions. And hello, Mr. Trusty Ape. I poop on your frames. Wow, that is that is something, John. That is something.
Yeah, I'll take that as a win. Thank you, John.
But you two sometimes sound awfully similar, and all I'm saying is we never see Mr. B.S. Lewis's face, and they've never been seen together in the same room. You know, one would use conspiracy-minded thinking that we would be looking at today to say that you two are the same person.
Or we're Siamese twins, and
That
I'm
is,
just like always
I would
below
still be
frame.
correct.
One being two personalities.
Yeah, well, that's how it
It's
goes,
just
right?
it's below the frame. That's why you've never seen Tux below the waist either.
Oh, you like cat dog?
Yeah, I come out the other end. And
You don't. Neither of you have legs. You walk around on your hands, and you go
Mhm.
and you just hold yourself up.
Yep, we're we're like the human centipede.
Exactly. I see. That's on things to on today on like things like today's show about on the barrel. That's the sort of thing we're looking at. Conspiracy thinking, weirdo thinking. People look at weird things, say weird things. You know. So I'm sure we'll get many hilarities out of all this. But I want to start putting some of these on because some of these are genuinely funny. I will say one or two of them makes me genuinely laugh every time I look at it.
Well, I'll be the judge of that.
Damn. Actually, yes. In fact, you will, sir. You will. You reminded me of something that I was reminded myself to say that I should have done. So, I also need you to keep track of what your favorite, you know, meme from the bottom of today's barrel would be, sir. And I'm going to start, once we get to a couple, because I've got one from last show, and every show I'm going to get one every show. I'm going to start putting them in. I'm going to have like a little hall of fame of everybody's favorite pseudoscience memes.
Okay, it'll be certified BS, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we might
Right.
even, if once I get enough of it, we might even, start looking at them at the end of the day. And go, this is, and we can have competitions, and we can have celebrities, and there'll be gold lighting, and champagne, and all the things. It'll be fantastic. I'm not dreaming big at all.
If you're gonna shoot for the stars.
Exactly. Because I mean, if you're not going for it, you're not going to get it. And you can tell by how well I'm doing. Just fucking go. So, without further ado, oh dear. And what have we got here? So, I'm getting used to. So there's going to be. I'm going to mention there's going to be a few little glitches here and there today because I'm getting used to. I've had to make a whole new format for this and everything. So hopefully this is the thing. You can see this one. Isn't that one? I take that away. Yes, there we go. Bam. Oh. So, oh, the Earth is not flat. Lie. The Earth is not flat. Do you see? It's actually underneath the dome. It has truth written on it and everything.
That's when the flat earthers come to nitpick each other. It's-
Yeah. Well, no. See, I think what this is I think this is the start of a civil war in the flat Earth society because you've got the flat earthers that come from 4chan that just believe the Earth is flat because they're dim-witted and other things, and then the other ones that are Christian and go, no, whoa, yes, the world is flat, but God made it with the dome. It does, in fact, say that He separated it into two halves. That's what the Bible says. So it is flat. It's just where's the dome? You can't have a flat Earth without a dome. And I
yeah, good
think,
old Eric Dubay. I see that's peeking up the top there. Uh, Actually, I think Eric Dubay is right. Like, if we're gonna go flat Earth models, I think the firmament is going to be more believed by the community because the community is made up mainly of religious nutsos.
well, it's also like, how else are you going to keep the oxygen in? It's going to go out into space. You got to keep the clouds in. Like, how's you going to do that without a dome? You need
Hey,
a
man,
dome.
that makes sense.
Exactly. Just like, if it's just trundling along, what, you got some ice walls keeping the water in? Okay. I'm a Discworld fan. I much prefer, the water cascading off the sides eternally with a nice rainbow going around. You got a circumfence holding the stuff in case anything, like ships or anything might go over the edge, you know? And this, but
Uh,
the clouds and the stuff goes away. The dome, it keeps it in. That's why, like fucking keeps the circulation going. I'm not in a broken chair. I have a bad back and I'm lying on the floor.
Ian Hartman's here for comic relief. Thank you, Ian.
Well,
Uh,
he's decided to come and cause bother, and then he's confused about my seating arrangements in the middle of it. So that's cool.
Also, with the dome, that's how you keep the sun and the stars in too, right? Because
Yeah, because there's waters outside, and you don't want them to get washed away.
yeah, because I'm guessing that the sun is less buoyant than the Earth. If it wasn't, then it would fall into the Earth. So it has to be going up like a helium balloon, and then
Yeah.
the dome stops it from escaping.
Well, from my understanding, the sun, uses fusion power to like fuse hydrogen atoms into helium, right? So, bam, it's a giant helium balloon. It's just a really hot helium balloon because everyone knows helium's an inert gas. It doesn't set on fire. It's just a really hot red balloon up in the sky. It
Yeah.
just glows because of its heat.
But what a lot of people don't know about the flat Earth theory is that we're actually just God's disc in a game of frisbee golf, and we're hurtling towards a basket,
You can't be
and
saying that while I'm drinking. I'll spit over everything.
that's heaven. Is once he gets that ace, hole in one, boom, makes his putt, whatever it is, like that's heaven. And if you're a disc golfer, a real golfer, like that's true. If you sink a good ace, or you get that nice 30-foot putt, like there's nothing closer to heaven than that.
Very true. It's like they always say. It's life's just a series of nice little 5-second moments, and that, sir, is one 5-second moment. Oh, right. He's annoying. So, it's good to, it's a nice start. We always like to, you always gotta, there's always going to be a healthy dipping of flat earth memes because I have noticed in my search for memes that the flat earthers definitely dominate the pseudoscience area. I do
Are,
notice so many more flat earth memes than anything else.
yeah. Are you? You can highlight comments, right?
Yeah.
Can you highlight John's last one? No, no, John. No, fuck golf. That's not how that works. Golf fucks you.
I mean, you can fuck golf. It's got like a little hole in it and everything.
Like, I mean, I wasn't being technical, but yes, I guess you're
I
technically
wasn't
correct.
being technical either. I was just saying it was just a hole there. It was inviting in the middle of a field. What else are you going to do? You're talking about putting balls, and I'm talking about stroking. You know, it's still golf.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then you wash the balls, and there's a lot of
exactly. You know, you give them a
innuendos in
nice.
there.
Sometimes they get wet. You know, you get a water hazard.
Yeah, you got
You
to pull
know,
up on the shaft a little bit sometimes. Yeah.
true. And you know what? Yeah, there is 18 of them, and if one just isn't the right fit, well, then you just wander off and find another.
All right, what we got next?
Right, yes. So, bam. The four miracles of atheism: getting something from nothing, getting life from non-life. Isn't that like? And getting order from chaos, and getting the immaterial from physical matter. So, what do you think about the four miracles of atheism?
I want to yell at people because they don't listen though. Like, okay, because most of these are actually their religious beliefs, and then they think they're silly and they put them on atheism. But it's like this is why we're rejecting your religion is because most of these apply to you guys, not us.
Yeah, but
For one, go ahead.
no,
Yeah.
go on. You was already talking. Go on.
For one, getting something from nothing, that's creation ex nihilo. There is an official creation doctrine in the formalized with the church fathers that
Yeah,
is specifically named that.
yeah, but see, God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, but so and they'd be like, well, it didn't come from nothing, and then that's where we get to like number 4,
Yeah.
getting the immaterial from physical matter. They just think the opposite. They think physical matter came from any material, and somehow that's less silly. I don't know why, just because reasons.
See, the way I'm looking at it is what we're saying is we got something from nothing, but then we also created nothing from something. So we, in fact, are the masters of everything. We are the
Yeah, that's
gods because we did it. We created the miracles.
in a way.
Something
I
like
think religion is just made to pat ourselves on the back, though. Like this is, of course, we're in the image of God, and He's a man being somewhere else. He's not a cockroach. He's not a tardigrade. He's not a giraffe. Of course, He's a
yeah.
man.
He's definitely us, and we're definitely made in his image. And you know how there's like 20 plus billion light years that way, and 20 plus billion light years that way, and that way, and that way, in literally every direction. It was all made for little old me, and you know what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
aren't you
like,
special, Zach?
yeah, I am. God said I was special, so therefore I am. God
Yeah.
made everything happen so I can exist, and nothing
A
else afterwards. Nothing.
slight correction. I said God said I am special.
Yeah, but I'm saying that God said I'm special.
Yeah.
So I'm afraid we're now going to have to gather armies and fight. That's how
Yep.
religion goes, right?
That's the only thing that makes sense to me. Yeah. I'm more chosen and more special than you are.
No, you know, because he came to me and told me exactly the opposite. You see,
Heresy.
exactly the opposite. There's nothing closer. Nothing.
Yeah. So getting back on topic
Yeah,
number
sorry.
4 here, getting life from non-life. I don't think any Christian is going to say that God qualifies for the conditions of biological life. He's mindless, spaceless, timeless, and all other words, he doesn't exist. But they're going to say that he gives life to non-life, and it's like you don't think he's a biological entity. So what does that even mean?
Well, see, no. These are these are the miracles we have to abide by, not them. You see, we've done all these things. They haven't. We're the dirty heathens that have these miracles. You see, because we have to claim them because we don't have God. Because God did all the things, and if God didn't do all the things, well, then it was all miracles. and chaos and chance, and there's no order in the universe aside from God, because who cares about things reacting to other things all the time? It's just God, right? So, you know, if we can't prove, oh, this camera remover thing shit. If we can't prove all those things for us, well, then God is there because God did them.
Yeah. So
Cool.
fourth or third point right there is getting order from chaos, and they're assuming chaos is the eternal, like the initial state.
Yeah.
But then they also want to trot out the second law of thermodynamics, which says everything tends from order to chaos
In a closed system.
in a closed system. But get my point. Doesn't really, they don't pay attention to that part.
No, but that was the distinction I wanted to draw because they don't pay attention to that
No,
part.
they don't pay attention to that part. But if you're gonna trot out the second law of thermodynamics, then you're already kind of
if they Sorry, go on.
you're, you're tacitly admitting already that the initial state is order, not chaos.
See, we've inspired gods already. We, but mere monkeys, apes living on this earth, have inspired gods to be made. Gods are made this day. Thank you, Andrew. You are
Yeah,
holy and special.
Andrew has a good point, because if we're going to argue the fine tuning argument that like life was perfectly tuned for maximum efficiency of living, like life or whatever,
Yeah.
tardigrades kick our ass, and what conditions they can be exposed to, and cockroaches do too. And so, like, it would seem to me that life would be finely tuned for them, not us, because we're so feeble and weak and fragile. The
Well,
sun kills us. we get, we need the sun, and it kills us at the same time.
Hey, we are people, and that is better than tardigrades and roaches. So why shouldn't God be for us?
Yeah, that makes
Uh,
sense. So that's my nutshells on the four things. What do you got to
I
take
mean,
down
what
for?
I've got really is I play the thing. Clicking the wrong thing.
Lies, lies, and more lies, and lies on top of lies.
That's about all I've got. Because that's the thing. It's the thing about these things. That's why I decided I wanted to start covering memes. It's shit like this because it's just look at these little shitty pithy things that don't actually mean anything or prove any fucking points, but you get to do all the heavy lifting, right? You get to infer all the meaning from it and all the things that it could mean and all this shit. Because who the fuck can prove any of that? Do you know what I mean? Like on any side, and then but because someone can stand resolutely and say God did it, well then you're bunk because you're humble enough to go, don't fucking know. And I am a sciencey guy.
It
You
doesn't
know what I
hurt
mean?
that they cater their definition of a god to meet all possible win, conditions. So it's like,
Well,
he's
yeah.
life when you need him to, he's not alive when you don't need him to, and like whatever.
Well, that's why. But that's I can't remember what I was going to say. I got distracted by not to mention ants, and all I could think was EDF. My ADHD sucks. Oh, what was I going to say? No. Oh yeah, the fact is these people have been arguing definitions for 2,000 years, right? And they've like argued it instead of usually when people would argue definitionally, they would get like more pointed and get like very precise. But theists, they get more vague and they get broader so they can incorporate more people. So these people have been arguing definitions for 2,000 years and what shit is or what they say shit is. And because of that, these definitions have gotten so vague that they could mean 50 different things. And they want
Yeah.
it to be that way so they can use it each of the 50 different ways. All like it's the same thing interchangeably.
Well, speaking of definitions, if anybody hasn't seen my latest short, that's where Jordan Peterson falls apart because he can't define what a Christian is, and he doesn't know if he is one or not.
It's some good shit.
Way to go, Danny! Props to Danny on that one. He fucking
Yeah.
hammered him out.
What we got next here? We got bam.
Burning cell towers is a cure for bird flu.
Have you not heard this one?
No, but if that's where they perch, I guess. And
Nope. No. So there's a bunch of
5G.
people that think that things like bird flu and SARS or MERS or fucking COVID were all like sent through the fucking cell towers and like 5G towers and different shit like that.
Oh,
Yeah, so
well,
like people think that people went up to like these cell towers and 5G towers and shit and like loaded them up with like, viruses and then transmitted them to your phone or through the airwaves to you.
yeah. Is
Yeah.
that cell phone tower? Is that near the Gulf of Mexico?
I think you'll find maybe.
Excuse me. I mean the Gulf of America. I mean,
I mean, I was
sorry.
going to make that joke, but I decided no.
Well, John's trying to, bust my chops over here in the chat. So
Well, he's always busting chops. He's a busty chop kind of guy.
yeah, John. My middle name is Ballbuster Lavelle.
And John, B.S. Lewis is not a Mexican spy. We already know there's a Mexican spy in our midst. And if anyone says that it's anyone other than Michael Beverly, I'm going to say, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, he kind of just basically admits it, right?
Yeah.
Except he says it without saying it.
But hey, do you know what, BS? He's right. Fuck you.
Well,
Spy boy coming
maybe,
over here singing La Cucaracha, fucking La Cucaracha, having your fucking hat on. You playing your little guitar.
no, it's probably the other way around with Beverly because he's in Mexico. So it looks like somebody sent him over there.
Well, it's because he got found out, so he got sent home.
Oh yeah. See, we can make conspiracies too.
You just work in admin then.
Yeah, I get it. He had a desk job now.
Well, why do you think James Bond keeps on changing? He can't be James Bond forever. Everybody spots James Bond. They go, look at him, he's James Bond. He did 3 other things last week, and they go, all right, we need a new one now.
Yeah.
So,
That's the plot of Face Off too, except for it's for James Bond. He had to get a new face. Face Off. He's the most recognizable covert spy ever.
yes, he is he is a fellow anti-American comrade. He is a spy for the Mexicans. I mean, I think just about everyone these days is anti-American, but hey, and everyone's anti-everything, so it's not really out of place. It's kind of the in thing now. It's been the in thing for like 20 years to be anti-everything all the time, forever.
Yeah, I blame the 90s.
I blame the 80s.
No, 80s were everybody's too high to care. Now the 90s is like,
Yeah, but the 90s, everybody was on acid. Everybody in the 80s was like, no, I'm going to be the lone shark, lone wolf,
they're
alpha
all in coke.
falcon, greased up, oiled up, playing my saxophone with next to the barrel on fire underneath the railway bridge before I go to my 9 to 5 lumpy will job because I'm a lone person. I'm a lone wolf. I only get together with other people to sniff cocaine.
I'm trying to think. Are you rickrolling me? Is that what that video is, or are you talking about a different video?
What?
They're under the bridge with a barrel and a fire.
No, it's just an 80s trope. It's just
Oh, you just made it out of thin air. Okay, I thought you were actually talking about a music video or something.
No, it's a big trope from like the mid late 80s to early 90s. There was always at one time in an action film or in music videos, you'll see if once you spot it and you notice it's there all the time. There is some guy playing a saxophone, muscled up, oiled up. He's dirty because he's been working all day, and he's next to. It's always a bin on fire. It's got holes in it, and he's playing a saxophone because it's the 80s, and everybody wants to go. You know what I mean?
That's the power of psychological tropes, because I swear that's a false memory for me because I was thinking that's from a music video.
I mean, it might be, but I can think of multiple films that it's in. I can think of multiple music videos that it's in. It's like it's a trope. Yeah. I know that, to be honest, of all films, it was the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, that made me spot it. Because it went, why the fuck is that guy playing a saxophone underneath there? And then I started spotting it in loads of films.
It's like when you're shopping for a van and that's all you see is vans.
Yeah. So, I've got memes. Memes. This is the cure. So if we just set fire to all the cell phone towers, then you know nobody can communicate, and everybody will stop spreading viruses.
And that'll
Because
free up the hospitals too, because nobody will be able to call for the ambulances.
yeah, then the ambulances are free. There's always an ambulance there. You go back to cell phones, not cell phones. I'm an idiot. You go back to rotary phones. And hello operator. You know.
That's the thing, that they'd rather go back to rotary phones than 4G. Like,
Oh yeah.
I cannot take my internet being any slower. Just give me a fucking rotary phone.
I totally think, aside from the internet, though, I do think that most people would like to be in like 1897, but with the internet and everything else be exactly the same. And I think most people would be fine.
Yeah,
Everybody just seems to have got to a level of technology and gone, I don't like this anymore. I want to regress. Let's go back. This future we're going into is too much. Let's go back into the dark ages. Come with the dark ages. Let's stop paying attention to good
yes.
things.
I definitely want to be a homesteader, but I still want to have a YouTube channel about it.
Yeah, totally. Because when I was on the range today trying to track down those buffalo, I nearly got gold, and they want 15 people to go, do you know what? I'll do the same. And everybody can feel happy and nice and worry about the monsters outside the door because it's 1897 and we haven't dispelled them yet.
I got 100 likes on my cow milking video.
Well, I told him you just got to grab the nipple and you massage as you pull it down. You get maximum milk for the minimum amount of moo.
The mini moo.
Yeah. Hello. Yes, they are. We can get carrier pigeons back. It'll be fun. Because
Yeah.
people, I think, I know the joke of idiocracy is too common, but I see stuff like this and it's it really is. It's not even a joke anymore. It's just, and it's not even a joke to point out that it's true. It's just really sad. Because
You know what? Oh, go
how the
ahead.
fuck does anyone think that you can spread viruses through a fucking cell phone tower? I can't. I like to try and be empathetic. I cannot reach this level of stupidity empathy wise. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's the same way that you microwave a chicken. That's what they think. It's just microwaving anything that's around it.
It's just how the fuck do you go right? Do they not even know that the viruses and cells and incomplete cells because the viruses that do they really think that we're all? I mean, the amount of people that think we're in a simulation. So I suppose if you think that this towers sending around signals, then also I suppose they could send viruses because everything's fake and everything's just numbers. We're all ones and zeros at the end of the day. The great programmer in the sky has his great programmer in the sky ad infinitum.
And
Such.
Mormonism is true.
Wow. Do you know what? If it is, it's the one I want to be true, just so I could be a god. Can I be a god too?
Well, even their hell, they don't have hell. The worst version of their hell is just like a mid-grade heaven. It's basically living eternally like this on normal terms. It's well, that might be hell, but not what the Christians think about it though.
True. I mean, I suppose that's why they've got a big fucking smile on the face all the time, and it isn't the programming centers they go into that's, unscrew bits of the brain, pull it out, and put new bits in. Like robots. They're I've hung around, because over here I met a Mormon. I didn't realize they were Mormon. It was just some metalhead guy, and I was talking to him, and I go around his house because we were teenagers and we were still in school. And then he went, "Oh, you're American," and I went, "Oh," he found out I was American, and then fucking he started inviting because his family would house these Mormon fucking missionaries and stuff, and he go, "They're American. Why don't you speak to them?" And it's this isn't going to go well. You want me to speak to your Mormon missionaries? Have you heard about the Church of Latter Day Saints? I'm not. No, I'm no. Just stop. It was rough.
I don't know. After watching The Secret Lives of Mormon Lives, they could sell me on a Mormon lifestyle.
Aye, that show was like hell. I remember watching that and I'm like, that Man, I agree with Redman in like, how high. Man, I love bitches, right? But I can only deal with one just because one person is enough. Just it's too many people.
That's funny.
Dealing with one is like, okay, I can see you, you're a person, hello. But I need some space as well. If you have like 9 of them, just like, hello, dear. Is it my turn yet? And it's like, oh Jesus.
I'm not a machine.
I'm not even talking about fucking. They just want to talk to you. They just want to talk to you about everything. It's like I just talked about everything to them, but you're all jealous with each other and catfighting. So we can't all just come together as people and talk as a group. No, I have to have deep, intimate conversations with all of you. I just want to have a rest.
So
Damn.
back on the tangent, like a side tangent for the meme though, is like
Yeah.
what I don't like about the cell towers is when they dress them up to look like trees. That bugs me.
Oh, did they do that over there? They don't do that over
Yeah, they put fake limbs and leaves and stuff on them to make them look like trees, and it's like I have a weird thing about liking my reality to be real and my trees to be real and my cell phone towers to be real and not try to like confuse the two.
See, Britain likes them looking like that because it makes everything look dreary and shit. So they have like everything looking just the worst it possibly can.
Like
Because
a
Britain,
cyberpunk
well, no,
future.
a little bit, but like Britain's version, where it's just like, look, it's all like shitty red brick buildings, or everything's like 1940s red brick buildings, or like 1990s grey special architecture that hasn't been upgraded since the 90s, and it's all dirty as fuck.
So England is like steampunk meets cyberpunk kind of thing,
A little bit, but like not as exciting as either of them.
but more
Britain's
dreary and
architecture.
bland.
I think the best way to explain it is: have you ever watched What We Do in the Shadows?
I don't care what you do in the shadows. You don't watch. What are you talking about? I ain't peeping on you, bro.
But like, yeah, well, that's good. Thanks for that. That's cool. Not enough people are not enough to admit such things.
Yeah, privacy is important.
Yeah, it is. But there's a character in that. He's an energy vampire called Colin Robinson, and Britain's architecture is the Colin Robinson of the world. Its entire point is to kind of make you feel as worse as humanly possible every second of the day.
Yeah, if you know, you know. I don't know though. I did that British show. I don't really know what you're talking about.
No, it's an American. It was on Fox. It was like it's like like The Office and shit, but it's like vampires. It's like a mockumentary about vampires.
No, I've never heard of it, but it sounds super silly.
Because the original version was a film. Yeah, the Matt Berry vampire one. Yeah, the original show was the original thing was a film done by Taika Waititi, where he's the main guy. But then they made a TV show of it with all different characters and different actors, and it's really, really good.
Are they actually in an office? Because that'd be even funnier.
No, Colin Robinson works in an office, yes, but the rest of them
they're all working the night
vampires. So
shift.
they do vampire things, but like not like I don't know. It's a comedy, so they're not like scary and shit. It's funny. It's great.
It does sound funny. I just place it in like a telecom center where people are just overnight with no windows in the building, and there's
Yeah.
like vampires taking phone calls.
Well, I mean, I think that's the Catholic Church switchboard, isn't it?
That's how you get routed to Pope Leo.
So,
all right, next
onwards.
meme.
Tally ho!
I do know this one. This is a TED Talk, right?
Just a second. I have a little clip for this because, do you know, this thing has touched me for many years. Where the fuck's it gone? There we go.
One might ask the same about birds. What are birds? We just don't know.
Oh, I love that. That's from a show called Look Around You, and it's like a comedy from like 2001. And I totally think this whole like birds aren't real thing, I think it comes from that. I totally think it comes from that. And because like, why the fuck are birds not real, man? Have you heard of this before?
Yeah, have you ever seen the TED Talk on it?
Oh, there's a TED Talk on it.
That's where I think this is really from, like popularized.
Oh,
So
damn.
the TED Talk is about from the guy who he goes. The whole talk's about conspiracy theories, how they thrive, how
Yeah.
like they become unfalsifiable and stuff. And his example of the conspiracy theory that he's peddling in the TED Talk is birds aren't real; they're actually government robots sent to spy on you. But not all of them, because you might catch a bird or see a bird dead on the ground, then you just happen to see one. But if a robot bird is taken out of action, then automatically they're scooped up by drones and taken back to the processing center. So you'll never find one of them.
Yeah.
You, and so what he goes through is every it's the invisible dragon in my garage thing, where everything you say about the conspiracy, he'll just make up a reason why it can't be so. And he
Yeah.
does that with birds aren't real.
All right. So
Yeah.
I've fallen for a fake conspiracy. Good.
It is, and he made a bunch of propaganda, and he started putting it around, and he started like that's part of his thing too. Is he was starting to like watch online and who was picking this up and who was taking it even further and stuff like that.
Oh,
It was
nice.
is wild. Yeah.
Well, I won't say there isn't another one of these memes later on.
Okay.
Oh well. I like the fact that this seems to have taken off. That's insane because that's kind of where because like from my understanding that's where the I'm gonna let my dog out. The flat Earth thing came back because people were like taking the piss on 4chan and people like what's it called like fucking ran with it like it was real. It was silly. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. This is I did a stream about this a couple weeks ago when I was like talking about Christian storytelling and my disdain for C.S. Lewis as an apologist.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I can't prove him wrong, so
No, she
good job,
works. She work.
Christopher.
Well, of course, she works in tandem with our Lord and Savior, Sir David Attenborough. You know, he brings forth the mechanical birds for everyone. Sorry, you
Yeah.
were saying something before I rudely interrupted by being very tickled by a comment.
This is why I think
Let my dog out. I can hear you.
okay, those of us in the skeptics community and those of us in the I don't know, the skeptics community. I'm not going to say atheism because not all atheists are skeptics, but we find this really important to be able to try to delineate strong, fair, visible lines to separate fiction from reality. And no, we can't always prove everything false, with 100% certainty, but this is where playing the odds comes into the picture. And so it might be true. I can't say for 100% that birds are real or aren't real, according to the TED Talk conspiracy thing, because he told the tale in such a way with such imagination that he made it unfalsifiable. So
Well, I think it links very well to religion because, like, with religion, it's kind of the same thing. These people have been arguing this shit for so long that they found a way to like make a definition for everything and find an argument for everything where they can't be wrong because they've been arguing against each other for 2,000 years. Do you know what I mean?
because it's what you were saying about earlier about the definitions. They think making something unfalsifiable is a strength,
Yeah.
and so you can't prove my God false. It is like they conflate like proving something false with providing falsifiability criteria. And they think like
Yeah.
it's the same thing,
And
and then they're like,
and
"Oh,
they
you can't
do
prove
and they
false."
do that and do not see why we say that they fucking make all these mental gymnastics to make all this shit work.
Yeah,
Do you
and they
know what I
make it
mean?
worse. They make it worse on themselves if they ever want to apply logic to it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. When they can define logic, then it doesn't matter, does it? So do you know what, John? Me and Joe, this coming Sunday, we're going to find a cure to this sort of thing. I have for everyone who enjoyed Bible Bees a couple of weeks ago. They made a sequel film, not to but they have had Bible Bees too, but I'm not. That's not what we're watching. They made another film called Finding Jesus, and we'll be watching that on Sunday. So we can see the answer to Disney making all the homos, John.
Yeah, they put a chick in it, made it gay. That's what South Park says, right?
Yeah, well, you know, they made a gay woman play a fish, and it's going to turn everyone gay. So you got to make a fish film to negate that, and everyone knows one fish film negates another, and then the world is righted. I mean, they'll have to make a sequel film, but that's neither here nor there.
Oh, slight side note. Like, I'm not gonna ask if you actually watched The Little Mermaid, but you're familiar with what the animation looks like, right?
Yeah.
Like the new version, how Flounder and Sebastian look like monsters and
Oh
creepy
yeah.
little. Somebody on YouTube did. They brought that version back to a 2D drawing. Like, so they originally animated the new version, and like Sebastian and Flounder are now 2D cartoons that look like these utter monsters. And they're just hanging out with Ariel, and it's so funny.
It's one of the things I love about YouTube, because so much of YouTube is just utter shash, but there's so much great, genuine shit out there that like gets so underscored by just so how much shit there is out there. Do you know what I mean? There's some great people making some fucking great shit that nobody would ever think of doing. You know what I mean? That sounds great. Sorry.
No, I wish YouTube had better search options because I want to always search up who's the new in the atheist scene, and there's just no way to do it unless it randomly come across your home.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm like search small channel. It's like how to make your small channel a big channel. That's not how I want atheist small channel. Like that's what I
Yeah.
want. Show me the new boys in town. Show me those guys. Like
It's yeah, like well, because it's weird that like because you see all these. Speaking of those videos, you see all these videos going, "Oh, you can make it." It's just YouTube's trying to figure out. It's just trying to find what circles you're running and everything. It's like, what if I'm looking for this specifically and you still can't fucking match me up? It's bullshit. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's a plot hole that they have right there. If I actually search for what I'm looking for and I can't find it, then from the creator aspect, like I don't feel like you guys are putting in all the effort to connect me with my audience.
Well, it's like I don't understand why they can't just like you have your search thing and it goes, "Do you want to search by date? Do you want to search by views? Do you want to search or like and stuff like that? You want to search by name or whatever?" It's like why can't I just search by like less? Do you want to search for a video that's less than 4 minutes or more than 20? It's like why can't I just go search for subscribers less than X? Less than 500, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't have that option.
Because they've got the people that they need to make money off, and you don't really need to make it easier for the little guys. I feel it's basically what it is. There's too many of us. There's too many people. We all need to have our voices heard. And YouTube's like, I only need to profit off some of you. The rest of you can fuck off.
No, I bet you that there's some kind of big money algorithm that goes with this. That it's probably more profitable for YouTube to have fewer larger creators making the money than a medium spread out amongst the whole of billion users of YouTube. Like it would probably it's probably more beneficial for them. That's why
Well,
they do it.
I think it's because it would make some of the things that they've done. It's like trying to make it feel more like TV. Do you know what I mean? They reward people for doing the people that do the same things at the same times and shit like that and everything. It's like they're trying to make it like you're a TV show and everybody's going to get together at a certain time to watch your show. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're trying to make it that instead of like what's actually people wanting to watch. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I kind of think the thumbnail thing's part of it because people are like it doesn't turn into what you make. It turns into how good a picture you can make. You know what I mean? And it's weird.
Yeah. Well, to Rochester's comment, I don't know if the comment was on what I said earlier or later, but when I talking about, I think their algorithm, their business model algorithm, it's not rewarding quality. I think it's rewarding larger creators on a smaller scale rather than mid watchable creators on a larger scale.
Yeah. It's like Andrew's saying, like
For the money, by the way.
oh yeah, like about adding tags and stuff. It's like I tried adding tags, and to be honest, I started getting less viewers.
Yeah, fuck tags, dude. I get the same amount with or without. It doesn't really matter.
It was great.
Thumbnails, and titles. That's where it's at, Zach. That's where it's at. Everybody, I'm
Yes.
telling you.
I
Did you
am.
see the email I sent you?
Uh,
The last video I stole from your channel, where it's me versus you three guys.
oh yeah.
I had a shit title got like 100 views in the first 24 hours, something like, which is way below par. And then changed the title a little bit, just tweaked the thumbnail, and then I sent you the picture of the graph just
Yeah.
skyrocketed. They started pushing it out to recommend a lot more.
See, I've tried doing that on a few, but I don't think I've got I don't think I've got enough subs or whatever, or enough people watching in general. I don't know. I don't know how half of my shit works. I've tried to go over shit with people before, and they go, "So what's your top 3 videos? What's your lowest 3 videos?" And it's like, yes, these are like, "Oh, they're the same people in the same order," and they're like, "Yes, they are." It's mental. What the fuck am I supposed to take from that? I don't know. That's kind of why I've just started streaming more, because fucking streaming's one easier, it's more fun, and like, I don't know, whatever. But yeah.
All right, birds aren't real. Let's go to the next one.
Not a conspiracy theorist. I'm an adding up. Things aren't adding up, and it's pretty obvious theorist. Yeah, things aren't adding up because you don't know what the fuck. These people think they're so fucking clever, and they think that like they've worked everything out, and they're so fucking certain of everything. It's mental. Because like, well, I read a thing on Uncle Joe's YouTube page, and that said that actually the media is fucked. So okay, the media is bad. And then on Uncle Phil's YouTube channel, he said that the fluoride has given us brain worms. So that's true. And like these people think. I wonder. I kind of wonder if it was part of Rupert Murdoch's plan to buy so much of the media to erode trust in the media. So then, when the media reports things that are going on, that people won't trust it. Specifically, so people will start believing whatever the fuck they read
You know
anywhere
what,
else.
Zach? That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Well, it's just what happened.
No, I think this gets a little. I'm just ribbing you, but like this one, there's a little bit of truth to it. That's why it's like kind of ho hum. Because I think being skeptical, we are always kind of like, well, I'm a things aren't adding up, and it's pretty obvious kind of guy myself. you know, we talk
Yeah.
about different stuff with religion and stuff, and they're like, oh, you're just so dumb. You're falling in for like mythicism, conspiracy theories, and this. And it's like, well, they have some evidence. I'm not saying I'm going all the way into it, but it's not like it's coming out of a vacuum. They're not just making this stuff out of whole cloth, and there is reasons why they think this stuff. But I'm not a mythicist, by the way. I just say that there's not actually enough conclusive evidence to prove that Jesus never ever existed as a person, but the
Oh
Bible,
yeah.
the Bible Jesus definitely didn't.
Yeah, but I'm more like I'm halfway between he's either just a crazy street preacher or didn't really exist and it's just a thing from someone else. But I think the difference between because like everybody can look at stuff and see that things aren't adding up. It's just the difference is people like to lump things together. I think I got to put my camera back on. I was just fixing my computer. So like if one politician right tells a lie, then all politicians tell lies. If one government agency does a thing, then all government agencies do it, right? So because and then once you erode the trust in it enough, you'll believe anyone who just says anything that is against the thing that you are 100% certain is always lying to you. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't matter
Yep.
how wacky and out there it is, it must make sense because the other one is obviously wrong.
Yeah, and I'm going to keep hammering this drum. The line between reality and fantasy is the line between possible and probable.
Yeah.
And so, like the same way religions work, the same way conspiracies often work, is that a little bit of possibility takes over in somebody's brain, and then that becomes the eventuality. It's exactly what it is, instead of playing the probabilities. Like, how many times are we listening to apologists and they're like, well, the most probable thing is that a Jew from 2,000 years ago rose from the dead.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the most probable thing, dude. There's a little bit of possibility to fuel the fantasy, but that's not probable. It's not logically impossible, but it's like,
See, this is where I start to wonder also if there's a genetic component a little bit. And I mean this for not just conspiracy thinking, but religion as well. I think they're both one and the same when it comes to thinking and how brains work and how they're wired. I think humanity has gone through a couple thousand years at least of stoning the unbeliever, killing people who think differently, and stuff like that. I feel like epigenetically maybe is the word I'm looking for, but like this, there's somewhere where the selective breeding of the most zealotous is in there. You know what I mean? And I think America is a good case in point for this because America came from religious zealots and has done nothing but spawn religious zealots that have gotten worse and worse over the years. And I totally think there's a genetic component to it. I wouldn't be able to point to any of it, but it's just something I've suspected. Do you know what I mean?
No, I do wonder that. I saw nature versus nurture argument stuff. But I definitely know in my life and my experiences on and off the internet that some people can just grasp logical and critical thinking better than others.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's like a teaching process involved, but the way teaching goes is like you have bad pupils, you have good pupils. So there is some kind of genetic thing where people can just grasp concepts, and maybe it's just that subject they're weak in. Maybe
Yeah.
they're kicking ass in abstract art and blueprinting or some kind of other uh, thing that uses a different part of the brain. But logical thinking may in fact, like you're saying, be a genetic trait that we have to put more effort to teach in for the ones falling behind and let the ones who are leading not be silenced in the fact.
True. And I think some of the evidence that I have to point to for that is actually the fact that we're losing the canyons in our brains. Our brains are smoothing over time. We've noticed this over like the past I'm going to pull a decade number out of my ass, but I know it's a number of decades, and it's not like just a couple. Where they've actually been like since we've been doing brain scans, going, no, people's brains are getting smoother.
That's
So
technology. I guarantee that's technology.
no. We
it's
can even
it's
look at them with like the actual canyons are getting, in our brains that make us clever are getting thinner, and they're
no,
like,
that's why I'm saying I think
oh,
that that's the reason they are, is because we're
tech.
becoming more.
Sorry, yeah,
I
my
can
misunderstanding.
Google something instead of actually reading and researching a thing for days. I just Google it in 1 second and I move
Yeah.
on.
See, there is a part of that where it's like, yes, there is a genetic component to like, which trees to climb, which fucking, and we don't need that shit anymore. So like that stuff is leaving us, but when your brain gets smart, it does mean that a lot of other things do as well. And I think, I don't know, we've. I also think the deterioration of the education system, and not just the deterioration of the education system, but like I think this meme points to it as well. The actual vilification of being smart, because there's been a very strong vilification for decades, if not centuries, of smart person bad. Because like smart person knows things, smart person makes us feel bad because they say that we're wrong about stuff. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
You
And
nerd,
like,
you big nerd, you dweeb. Yeah.
yeah, we look at children like who do we praise the valedictorian? Kind of. Who gets all the fucking thing? It's the fucking football player that goes to fucking Penn State or Ohio State or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
nobody gives a shit about who did best in all the grades. They give a shit about the quarterback with the most yards, the guy with the highest batting average, or sunk the most fucking shots in 3 points in basketball or whatever.
Well, to be
Because
fair, those are the Ubermenches, the guys who like actually are the quarterbacks in football, and then they go to Harvard and they become doctors afterwards. They're like,
yeah,
"Well, I have nothing bad to say about you. You fucking excel in the physical realm, and you excel in the intellectual
true. But
realm. Like,
what my
there's
point
nothing I can
is
say.
the
You're God among men."
the treatment that sports players get compared to smart people is always been astounding. Do you know what I mean? Even going
Yeah,
back as far as the Satanic Panic, you could just go like that was just vilifying smart people because the smart people were being fucking. I happen to love football. I love America, and I'm gonna say football, even though I'm speaking to a bunch of
football.
Americans and some British people. When I say football, I mean American football because it is the correct version of football, and anyone who says that it's the soccer ball is just 100% wrong
It's not
because
the game that you play with your foot 99% of the time. It's the
I
one where you
know. No,
throw
it's
the
not.
ball.
I know. but soccer is the proper term. It's British term as well, so they can suck a dick. I love saying that to British people, and they get so angry. So you fuckers made it.
Suck a spotted dick, you Brit.
Yeah, well, because it used to be associated football, because there's never been an actual football. And American football was the first game to actually just be called football. Therefore, fuck them. It's my gripe because I get it all the time over here. you're talking about the wrong game, and it's like it's hand egg, and it's like I don't care. Okay, my game is more fun than yours. But
Yeah, it's
like,
a good game.
but it's always the thing of you can. So like, it was the Satanic Banner that I was talking about. So because it's like, who was playing D&D? Who was playing these fucking games? It was smart kids that liked math and wanted to use math in a more fun thing than what is the square root divided by pi times the circumference, and it gives you the hypotenuse of AB squared. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's boring. But then people go, all right, well, how about we're going to go fight a dragon, and then you can work out ratios and percentages, and you can do it all in your head, because like that was kind of the whole point of D&D, and like it was smart, nerdy kids getting together that were being like got bullied all the time, and they could do the fantasy shit, and because smart people have brains that work faster 9 times out of 10, and like they get focused in on stuff, and like they got vilified for doing something away from everyone else. Do you know what I mean? The smart people doing bad things again. And like the whole point, like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, bad person, a smart person, bad because science bad. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of the because I have kids and I get bummed out, especially when I think about my own education too. Is like, why don't they actually focus on critical thinking stuff? There's a lot of stuff they don't throw in the inner or the beginner levels, the grade school, elementary stuff that I
Yeah.
think they should. Health and fitness, like nutrition, like people need to know like what food does to their bodies. Like they don't know for the most part. Money
Yeah.
stuff, and critical thinking, they're usually sorely lacking or left out entirely of the public school system.
Because I think it's something Callan said. I think it's 100% true. He was making fun of Barbara Bush back in the day. I think it was from his last special before he died, and he's saying, "Hey, what was the thing? Barbara Bush's thing is she was about teaching kids to read, right? But the thing is, it's not important enough just to get your kids how to read. You got to get your kids to question what they read, and parents." Teachers and stuff like that, they don't want you to question what you read, because when you question what you read, what you're doing is you're questioning authority, and they don't want you to question authority because they're authority. So, do you know what I mean? So that, like, even from a young age, they don't want you to do it because it's questioning them specifically, and it turns into conditioning for everything later on.
See, I sympathize with the authoritarian here. I'm gonna push back against you here. Um, I have been in managerial positions. I've have my own business, and I also have kids. So there are places in my life where I have to be authoritarian, and sometimes I don't want to sit there and have a fucking 22-hour debate with fucking people to do the shit the fucking way I tell them to do the fucking shit. Like,
Yeah,
and so it's not that for like I'm trying to keep them down. Like, hey, just stay dumb,
yeah.
But sometimes I don't need the argument. I just need the fucking execution. Like, I'm the fucking boss. You're not the boss. Shut the fuck up. Like, that sounds fucking dickheadish in this neck of the woods. I know people are like, oh, you fucking BS, Lewis. You fucking capitalist swine.
Well, it's one of those. It's just how business runs. It doesn't but the conditioning runs deeper than a business, though, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Because
It
it's
does.
also who's the authority figures. It's your mom, your dad, your teacher. What mate? Like if you go to church, it's gonna be a pastor. Do you know what I mean? Any adult event the earlier you are, it becomes an authority figure. Do you know what I mean?
And I
So
would like to classify the differences. Like, a job environment's not the same as a school environment because you're trying to foster different things. Like, you're actually trying to foster the growth within the kids, whereas like a work environment, you're trying to make a product and a profit. So,
yeah.
like, different goals.
See, I don't know what it's like in America specifically, but because I know that's also state to state as well. But like over here, it became much more about passing tests than it was knowing stuff. So like I had teachers that would just full on just read the syllabus at you and like just go write down what's in the syllabus, and I'll tell you which ones are more likely to be on the tests. And like then they would start like saying giving strategies of like, well, if you're doing a multiple chance test, then last year the answer that was most likely correct was B, so it probably won't be B this year, try D. It'd be like all these shitty strategies instead of knowing things. Like it was
Yeah.
it was fucking mental. Like,
you're learning how to take a test rather than learning the facts.
yeah, just like I'm gonna get. Oh, I'm gonna go close the door. My dog's coming. But yeah, no, like I don't know if that's how it's like in America now, but like it's gotten really bad like that over here, like really bad.
Yeah, it's all different all
Well,
around.
anyone
Like
knows.
it's hard to paint everything with one broad brush because everybody's in a different situation.
Very
So
true. Well, see over here in Britain because there's the two-tiered system with it as well. Like you've got normal schools, but then you've got all these like upper middle class and rich people that are like basically sending their kids to schools that teach them how to run the world. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
because like all these fucking state schools over here because they say it backwards. It's weird. So private schools over here are like fucking public schools, and then public schools are like the private ones for some reason. And
that
then
is very weird.
so then these kids go and live in places like Hogwarts without the magic, where the fucking headmasters are paddling them and they're eating food with rotten shit in it. So, and also being told you're part of the very special generation and you're going to lead the world next, and you're going to do this job and you're going to do this job and you're going to do this job. So you don't need to learn biology, you don't need to learn physics, but we're going to teach you 13 years of business and how to run things. It's fucking mental.
There are countries that do that on a more. I don't know which country they are, but they basically assign you what you're going to do, and you take a certain trajectory path from schooling onward. Like I don't know what countries they are, but
Britain used to be more like that.
yeah, like basically you're born into it. And they're like, you're going to be a factory worker. You're going to be middle management. You're going to be in the medical industry, and they set you on that life path
Well, that's
based
what
on
most.
early testing and like personality profiles.
Yeah. Well, I mean most of humanity's always been like that a little bit. I mean, that's where most of our last names come from.
Yeah, some point of me, I almost like. There's always the what if factor, But like I was one of the ones that I didn't know what I wanted to do out of college, so I ended up going to college and I just took general ed stuff. I have a degree, but it's in the most vaguest general basic stuff. I don't
Yeah.
have any. I never decided on a major or any specialty, but I
Hmm.
was just like, I want the piece of paper because I know the piece of paper is going to make me more valuable in a competitive market. I and so I to the I still don't know what I want to do today. Like even to this very day,
Yeah.
I just landed into the field I was in and I fucking made the best of it. So it'd be weird to like grow up as a kid and they're like, here's your path set in front of you. Like I don't know if I'd like that or not like that, but I do think I would have liked a little more guidance growing up to like help me find out what I'm good at, help me find out what I'd want to do, stuff like that.
Yeah, Britain's been like because like I graduated high school in 2003 over here, and back then nobody gave a shit about what you was going to do, and in fact, it was a bit of a joke, like that you'd have goals and aspirations, and then kind of go, "You're not achieving that." Like what? It didn't matter if you were getting straight A's. They'd be like, "Nah, you're from like the north of England. You haven't attended a state school. That's it. State schools are the private ones because they're stately funded or some shit."
Yeah,
And
I
like
think
and
yeah.
it's like, so these fucking, you didn't go to one of these fucking state schools, so you haven't got any chance at anything. Why would you think that you would have any chance at anything? You live in the northeast of England, the northwest of England, sorry, and you're not in the south, and you're not near London. So how dare you actually? In fact, actually, how dare you think you can do stuff? Like
Yeah.
people would get angry if you had goals and aspirations.
I think for my school, like if I wasn't strung out on meth and in a gang, like they considered that a win. So they're like, he's doing okay. He's gonna be all right.
The problem is at Rochester. I had just immigrated here. I couldn't go back. I say immigrated. My mother kidnapped me, so I couldn't go back. It's fucked up. But it's just fucking. I don't know. It's just England fear. But I think that drove me to want to know stuff, and that's going to bring me back to this meme, right? So we can move on to the next meme. But they fucking, because these people don't learn things anymore and don't have the urge to learn. They have the urge to investigate more than they have the urge to learn. Do you know what I mean? So people want to find out stuff, but they don't care about the truth. And if it's an established, it's become over the past, what, 10, 20 years, it's become very fashionable to say, oh, it's come from a reputable source. Nah, I'm not listening to that. Do you know what I mean? especially with like social media and Google and everything kind of honing all their algorithms around keeping you in a little bubble, and then everybody thinks everything's gospel because it's from the internet. Did you see that it had the cover of the article had a very official looking photo? It must have been real. It must be true. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
obviously, if you want to get in a place of power, learn marketing, because that's where it's all going.
yeah,
One thing before you switch off this,
yeah.
I think this would be, we can co-opt this meme as an atheist meme and erase I'm not a conspiracy theorist and just put I'm not a Trinitarian. And it would make just as much sense.
I'm not a Trinitarian. I don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah, I'm a things aren't coming up and it's pretty obvious guy.
Do you know what? It does take work. That's why. You don't want to cite things unless it goes, well, Jeff has got a little Facebook page. I can get the information from that. Don't worry. Don't
Yeah.
worry. He says it says crazy Jeff, but he says that because everyone calls him crazy because he says the aliens investigated his eyes and his anus. You know, so
And unless we not forget that citing sources is for nerds. So
nerd.
nerd, you dweeb.
Yeah. Give him a nuggie and give him a fucking swirly and get done. Bam! How about this? Look at that picture of the sun. Fire requires oxygen. Let that sink in.
I'm letting it sink in.
I am.
So I don't know about science stuff.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, I'll probably show my own ignorance on this, but like, doesn't other things also fuel fire, like hydrogen, helium, different other gases?
No. Technically, no. Because fire's oxidation.
Oh, okay.
But the thing
So
is the sun
what's the
isn't.
point of the meme?
Well, because they don't understand that the sun isn't on fire. The sun is a giant fusion reaction. It's plasma, but it's like it's liquid burning plasma. It's not actually like I can't think of the proper term, but it's not actually on fire because it's just the energy given out of fusion of so much dense energy getting out. It's unreal
So
because
is this
the
is this a
pressure.
flat?
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
on. Well,
Is this a flat?
Go on.
Is this a flat Earth meme? Are they saying that the sun is actually within the atmosphere or something like that? I don't get.
I don't know. I don't think it's a flat Earth meme. I think it's a space is fake meme. Like the sun isn't real, maybe meme.
Well, it sure looks real.
Yeah,
I got.
I know
fooled.
it does, but see, that's the thing. It's just really good. You see, the sky is actually just monitors that are hooked up to an AI that just shows you, you know, one quintillion vintillion pixels, and you can see, you know, all those solar flares coming out, all those things that look like fire coming off it. That isn't explosions of internal pressure finally bursting out of the fucking gravity pushing down on it and shooting molten plasma and helium going all over itself. It's not that at all. It's fire.
So these
Is it
people
not? I
think that
thought
they.
it did. It's not fire's oxidation, isn't it?
Oh, here comes a flat earther, Kentucky atheist. Now, so does this mean that those people think they live in the Truman Show or something like that?
I mean,
Like
maybe.
everything is set up to like fool them specifically.
Shit, I forgot to put. I forgot to put a link in the thing. I don't. No, I totally think it's because people started just saying, "Hey, the universe, like space, isn't real." I mean, maybe it's part of the dome thing. I don't know. You can never tell.
I'm not interested in this meme. If you want to rant on it, I don't care about this one.
No,
This
it's
is
all
my,
right. I was
my
sorry. I was
least
just
favorite of the bunch.
bam. Well, that's certainly I meant to pin that before, and then I never did. That is certainly unexpected. Bam. Fuck this meme. This meme's bullshit. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's not worth my time.
There we go. Epoch Health. Growing number of leprosy cases reported after COVID-19 vaccination. Bam. You see? COVID-19. Oh, yeah,
COVID
sorry.
19. COVID
Causes
19.
leprosy. Didn't you know?
I could believe it. Like I guess it's not impossible, so it must be true.
And I would like to point out that one Epoch Health. Would you like to guess who runs Epoch Health?
I know about Epoch Health.
All
Yes, I
right, fair
do very
enough.
much.
Well, would you like to play
I
guess?
don't want to get you. I don't want to get your stream shut down.
Would you like to play guess at who runs Epoch Health? With a name like Epoch Health, it's certainly a Christian organization, isn't it? It's
No,
certainly a devout Christian organization talking about epochic health solutions and such.
yeah, it's the same
Oh,
people that ran Epoch Times, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you can let them guess in the chat because I already know.
Say again.
I said I already know, so you can let them all guess in the chat if they don't
Oh
know.
yeah, yeah. If you want to guess who owns in the chat, let's have a guess. And Joe's joining us while I fix the shape of his picture. Hello, Joe.
Hello.
Word up.
Hey,
I thought
Joe.
I thought BS wanted me to come teach him about the flat Earth.
Go on.
I'm gonna kick your ass, Joe.
We're all here for it.
You
We're
better
getting a
get in
rematch.
line.
This time it's 2-on-1.
Oh no. Yeah.
You better get in line if you're kicking my ass.
Because that's a big ass.
Oh yeah, you just said.
Well,
Is it related to
that
Epoch
too.
Times? Yes, everyone in the
Joking.
chat. Yes. Who runs Epoch Times? Don't look it up. That's too easy. I want guesses only. Sorry, carry on.
Tell us about the sun, Joe.
Yeah, tell us about the flat Earth and the sun.
Well, I mean, do you want me to tell you really about the sun, or do you want me to tell you the flat Earth narrative about the sun?
Well, do you know, we'll start with one and then we can go on to the other.
Or kind of mix them together in a way I can't tell the difference.
Shit.
Bam.
uh,
Yes. Close. Close. Closer than you would expect. Sorry, carry
so,
on.
I mean, the sun is not a local lot in the sky. Um, it it is what is it? 9 million miles? Is that right? It's
Fantastic.
it's many miles from here, and it's very very large. And the way that stars work is that they burn hydrogen usually. Um, Now sometimes there's other elements in there, but uh, they burn hydrogen, and they because of the pressure and the heat and all that, they're able to form elements all the way up to lead. Um, and it takes special stars to form more than lead in a supernova event. But the yeah, fire doesn't require oxygen. That's not true. So fire is the rapid oxidation. If it was just oxidation, rust would be fire. Uh,
Yeah.
Now there is and I used to be a firefighter too, so this is kind of
Damn.
a thing. But
Joe's a man of all trades.
He's got the big, strong arms. You
yeah,
can wrap
yeah,
me up
yeah.
anytime, Joe.
Saved many of the cat from trees. The
Before you go on, can I mention one thing? Because I think Zach was snickering me when I initially asked my question, and now you brought it to light. And the reason I thought oxygen wasn't required for fire is that underwater flares, magnesium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It just requires there's a trifecta thing they use, and it's like the fire requires heat, oxygen, and fuel. But that's for a regular burning fire, like you're gonna set a fire here on Earth. Fire in the sense of something burning and oxidizing can be done with other fuels as well. So like acetylene will burn underwater without oxygen at all. Of course, we use oxyacetylene to make it burn hotter to cut metal, but acetylene will burn. Many other gases will burn as well, including hydrogen, which is very, very flammable. So whenever you have all that pressure and the release of energy, because atoms are being smashed together literally, it does ignite the hydrogen at the sun. So but it's so hot that the sun is plasma. But like in the corona area and stuff, there's really no difference between what you're going to find there and fire. It's pretty much the same.
Well, yeah, because it's because also the intense heat there, but it's just not got the atoms for anything to actually happen. So if they encounter it, it does quickly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
like all that energy wants to do something, and it's just waiting. It's just like, come on.
well, you see the bright orange spots on the sun, and I'm sure you've seen like the videos of these big arches of material being ejected,
Yeah.
coronal mass ejections, things like that. And the reason they look like that has to do with magnetism and all kinds of shit, gravity. But the
It's like a big pimple.
that's essentially like a volcano eruption. I mean, it's not obviously the same, but it's similar in some ways.
It's much worse because of the internal pressure getting out is insane.
Oh yeah. The process that causes an ejection from the sun is a like one of those little sunspots. The energy that creates that is more than we've used in this world in all the history of it.
Yeah, or ever
It's
will, because
yeah.
it's insane. Because it's especially with sunspots, because sunspots are like they're much more like active and hotter and everything than fucking everywhere else on the surface.
Somebody's saying Dr. Oz. Is Dr. Oz here?
Oh no, no, no. So it was so I was asking for guesses about the next beam, about who
Oh,
owns
okay.
the epoch at the times, and Christopher was very close. It's actually the Chinese government. It's the Chinese Communist Party.
Yeah. I would be careful with this one.
Oh well, it's already done. You
Yeah.
know. See, the thing is, I wish I'd remembered to pull it up, but I have another thing about because I think this shit is actually in response to something because what the fuck AP is it? The Associated Press was reporting a year or two ago that actually the Biden administration was pushing COVID conspiracies into Southeast China to die in Southeast Asia and into China to try and destabilize the Chinese government. So they had this is part of a nice little disinformation war that both sides have been waging against each other about COVID. So that's fun.
Yeah.
So I thought I guess I'll move on if it's dangerous. It's dangerous to talk about
Yeah.
it.
We're just caring about your channel here, Zach.
I know, but the thing is it still needs to be talked about. And
We
I'm
don't
not
want
one.
no,
I don't like using different words. It makes me feel silly.
we don't want
Well, the
Asian hitman showing up on your door in England.
You're gonna say
well
something.
the YouTube has a hard time differentiating between you debunking something
Yeah.
and spreading disinformation.
Oh
So
no, it totally does. This I've done this show 4 times. This is the fourth one, and only one of them is still up.
yeah. They
So
don't take my stuff down. They just demonetize my stuff all the time.
no, they just take it down. They don't even give me a chance to like try and say anything against it. They just call me a dirty conspiracy theorist to tell me to go fuck myself.
It's
Even,
because
even if I
they
get
can't
Team
control you with
YouTube,
money. That's why.
yeah. Even if I get Team YouTube to look at it, they're like, "You're a dirty conspiracy theorist," and it's like, "You've obviously not watched the clip. Go fuck off." Either that, or you're a conspiracy theorist yourself.
Yeah. Which is weird because they have a particular moment that the video was flagged. It would be easy for them to not even watch it, just go look at the screen and see what was going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yeah. Yeah, YouTube creator services is like the most useless thing I've ever encountered.
It's like the DMV, right?
Yeah, literally. Like if you ask somebody something there and then you like come back and ask again, you'll get a different answer. Um, they they have no clue what's going on and they just want you to go away.
Unless you're a big performer, then they're gonna like fall all over themselves to kiss your ass.
they were hitting me with copyright notices and demonetizing my videos because of a song that I was using on the intro that wasn't on YouTube Creator Music. And but I have the license to the song. I own it. And I was trying to give them that license, and I was like, "Look, here's the license. I own the song." And what they did was they demonetized it for one video, or they monetized it back for one video and took the copyright thing off, and then still left it on the rest and every new one after that. So I had to end up like, I just own useless music now.
Yeah. I had a similar situation with my intro because I used Dog Fashion Disco's Christian dance party for like a year and a half. And by the way, Christopher is right. It's not the communist. The thing I was reading, I misread. It is them. That is who owns them. So I was wrong. So congratulations. But yeah, I had a similar trouble. So I actually got like fucking licensing, not but just YouTube licensing rights or whatever, so I could fucking play it from the band itself because they own the record label that made it and all this. And they gave me all the shit, and they went, "There you go." And like, even got them to contact YouTube about me using it, and like, YouTube did not give a shit, and still like auto flagged it all the time, and even it's like fucking ridiculous. So I just stopped using it.
Cool. Next meme.
Next, atheists are using satellites. Oh wait, I forgot. This guy's fake, isn't he?
I just read the headline though. It is really funny.
Yeah. This was supposed to be in the last video, and then I didn't look at the name. I forgot. I only found out after, like a couple months ago, this guy was just like a parody site. I used to fucking say all sorts of shit on his page, on his Twitter page, all sorts. Because like, you fucking are, I'm so angry. And then I was like, "Oh, you fake? Well, I'm an idiot."
Well, good day, sir.
Good saying. Well done.
The atheists are using satellites to intercept prayer to Jesus and turn them evil.
See, but the thing is, right, is I've actually seen other Christians post that shit. I've seen like
Birds
post
aren't real.
yeah, that like apparently all the satellites are like creating this web that is stopping us from talking to the Lord. So down with the satellites, and then we can talk to the Lord. That's all we need to do is destroy all the satellites, and then we can all talk to God again. That's why he used to come down and do miracles for people, and there was loads of prophets all the time. You can't now. Who knew? Bam.
I can't read the first word. The Earth is
But
ball.
I saw Earth as a ball on TV, and it's the universal symbol.
I mean, that's kind of true.
Well, hey, we
Can you hear me again?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh,
you're muted.
yeah, I had a problem there for a second.
Fun.
Do they think that prayers are like a transmittal of information? Like they're like they
Yeah,
think something in their head and it's transmitting?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, because like, well, some of them think like I remember some of the people I used to like talk to. They used to think that like God was already in your head, so you didn't. It wasn't like outside because it was all there, and he was because he's everywhere. But I've
Well,
definitely known
isn't
people that thought that like prayers are like yourself. You're calling God on a phone, and like he picks up and then you
well
talk to him like a
if
walkie.
they're physically going somewhere, couldn't we find out where that physical place is?
Well, you see, we just don't have the technology to read God's
Well,
images.
satellites apparently can.
Well, you see, that is because that is the deep state government agencies that are doing things that you wouldn't possibly fathom. And really, actually, the fact that we're even talking about it shows, that
Well,
they have too many leaks and they're going to kill us all.
it's one of those things where you don't have to know you don't even have to know what a satellite is.
Yeah. Well, it's a space. It's a futuristic thing in the sky, right? And that's all that matters. And I've seen sci-fis; they do things that you wouldn't explain. I watched James Bond. One of them had a laser in it. Another one had missiles. Like They could do all sorts of stuff. It's in space. You're not up there.
So I put the TED Talk for the Birds Not Real in the chat for anybody if they want to watch it in later times. It's really funny and interesting. But I was thinking about this one you're showing right now, the meme, and how this would play in perfectly to the 5G towers that we saw too, because that would be the instrument that they're using to scramble all the Christians' prayers.
Oh, you can bet if they believe in this conspiracy theory, they're like flat earthers and anti everything, and
yeah. Well, once you believe one of them, why not believe in them all?
yeah. I mean, if you're gonna just believe horse shit, you might as well take the whole pile.
Well, it's because it's one of those. It is the slipperiest of slippery slopes, right? Because once you disbelieve everything about one thing, all the things that you have to believe to make that thing happen means that a bunch of other things have to be untrue as well. So the dominoes fall, and it falls slowly at first, but very rapidly afterwards. Do you know what I mean?
And who's paying for atheist satellites? Is it like big atheism again? Is that like
yes,
the Illuminati?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
I thought the Illuminati was a Christian organization.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah. It's like science. Christians made it first, and then atheists took it over for their own.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
Both my grandfather and my uncle were the highest ranked Masons you can be.
Damn. Joe?
And you're not? Are you letting them down?
I mean, I actually could go to any Masonic temple and say who I am, and they would like make me an honorary member on the spot. My grandfather was like head of the Masons for the whole Eastern United States.
Damn.
He carried a box of grenades in the trunk of his car.
Because like who doesn't? Like
and automatic weapons.
Whenever you need a grenade.
He thought that the brown and Asian people were going to take over the world.
I mean, a lot of people still do.
Yeah, I could see that. Like somebody has to take over the world. Why not the brown and Asian people?
Yeah.
I mean, if you all the horrors that all the whites are dealing with in Africa, and it took all 27 of them to come over here, whatever it was. It's a real genocide when a couple dozen come and not all of them.
That's the kicker, though. Why do all these clandestine organizations always have to be super tied up into weird racist shit, dude? It's like that's one of the prerequisites for making a secret society. You're like, we have to be racist. Like it's just in the bylaws of making a secret society.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you always have to have a scapegoat, and the people of different skin color are very visible, and you can't really hide it.
Well, like Batman couldn't be a superhero if there weren't supervillains.
True.
Yeah, some would argue that he made them. Yeah.
I was just about to make a similar argument.
I kind of agree actually, but so the Freemasons and these other groups see themselves as the good guys. So they have to, whether it's them or other people, they have to create bad guys for the good guys to fight.
Well, because that's one thing people forget. No one thinks of themselves as evil unless they're like a sociopath. Do you know what I mean? Like, very few people go, I'm going to start an evil organization today. What they think is I'm going to do something good for the world, and it just happens to be what I want.
Yeah, but it involves taking out all the Jews.
$1 million.
Hey, if everyone else has been doing it, why don't I get a slice of the pie as well?
Yeah.
Not literally, but I just thought I should put that out there.
I mean, there's that.
What's the next meme we got here so we can get off this weird racist tangent we're on? Not that one. This one's boring.
Well, this one...
It's funny, but it's I get it.
Well, yeah, but they're mocking us for like watching documentaries. You see?
Okay, if I'm going to comment on this, it's the hidden in plain sight motif that goes with the conspiracy theorists. Like, they put the Lady Liberty or whatever in the Paramount ones, and they're just saying like she's a Satanist, goddess
Oh
or
yeah.
something, and like they're
So,
just they're telling us in plain sight.
so, so, are you aware that Mark Rober just did something that will completely destroy the flat Earth stuff?
I mean, many people have, but nobody cares.
Well,
What
no. This is
what is it this
different.
time?
This is what they've been asking for.
Right.
The
So
24-hour sun.
Mark Rober spent $5 million of his own money and launched a satellite into space with a screen and a camera. You can submit a picture of yourself and it will show up on the screen on the satellite, and then there's a camera pointing at it,
Yeah.
and the Earth is in the background, and you can see that it's round. And the 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 camera takes a picture of you on the screen, and the idea is that it's taking a selfie in space for free,
Yeah.
and so you actually can get that live picture of the Earth that they've been dying for.
Well, he works for the Epoch Times, though, right?
Well, I mean, he worked for NASA, and
I'm just messing
uh,
around. But
Yeah, but the thing
I
is
I
people.
think it's easy.
Yeah, it's people don't care. That's the thing.
no, they don't give a shit. That
People,
is the thing.
flat
It,
earthers have debunked themselves and then go, yeah, but flat Earth is still true. Like whatever.
I
Yeah,
think it'd be harder to fake the 24-hour sun thing that just happened not too long ago than this one, though. Because if I'm
Yeah.
putting on my tinfoil hat and you're telling me, oh, they sent a thing off to space and you take a video, I'm just gonna do what they always do. CGI, bro. It's CGI. It's totally fake.
What the what the fuck is it with conspiracy theorists, right? What the fuck is it with conspiracy theorists where like a video of the round world is not good enough, but a hazy photo of Bigfoot is okay?
yeah.
Like what the fuck? We have live feeds 24/7 of the earth spinning, stuff happening. It can all be fake, but that hazy photo of that ghost definitely real.
Orbs,
Yeah, you
Orbs.
seen that orb? That's a real photo of a real orb, but a real photo of the real globe taken from space.
yeah.
Globes aren't real, but orbs are.
Well, that's where all the globes really go. Don't worry that you can look through a telescope and see the other planets, right? They're not flat. But that's because all telescopes have little computer screens and little computers that have little LED screens that show you, like round things in the sky. It makes them round.
Yeah, the orbs are actually flat too.
Yeah.
My,
Everything's
my boy,
flat. There's no 3D. We're all in 2D. We just don't know it. It's big 3D
Exactly.
trying to make money off us, thinking that we could move around in other dimensions.
I appreciate our boy Andrew in chat dropping some really dark humor over there.
Wow.
Gotta catch 'em all. HIV.
Damn. I had I was starting to pay attention. I'm like, fucking hell, geez. All right, yes.
All right. Well, I gotta go set up. I just wanted to jump in because of the fire thing, and you dropped a link and say hi and stuff. But I'm
Yeah,
gonna go
fair enough.
set up and do a
Oh,
thing.
that's good seeing
And
you, dude.
All right.
yeah,
Sounds like you're
thanks.
scared.
I'll
Scared.
probably drop
Scared.
by after
Scared.
I'm done.
All
Well,
right.
after the whooping you put on me last time, DS Lewis, I don't know that.
That was a good talk. We have to continue it.
Yeah. No, you're welcome. Come by sometime. We'll have it again.
And
Sweet.
while Joe's here, just before he leaves, this Sunday, me and Joe are going to be watching through another children's film. That's fun. It's made by the same people as Bible Bees, so I know you're all excited. You looking forward
Yeah.
to finding Jesus, Joe?
Yeah, it's a children's film, not a film of children.
Yes.
Just to be clear.
With the Christian media, you have to make sure you specify that.
Yes.
Right. You're right. You're very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll remember in future. But yeah, so it's the same people who made Bible Beast. They made their own version of Finding Nemo called Finding Jesus, and I hope you're all as excited as I am because I've not even watched this one fully. So I'm
Is Dory a whore in this one too?
hopefully.
Okay,
Yeah.
just check. All right, thanks guys. Have a great one.
Cheers, dude. It was good seeing you. I will see you later.
Later.
All right, bye.
Bam. And another Joe bites the dust. And by that, he goes to his own stream. that everyone should go to after this one's done. So next meme.
Tally ho.
Once upon a time, all food was organic. Damn.
Yeah.
No.
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 Okay. What am I missing? Food
Well, I
wasn't
mean, once
always.
upon a time, as in before we started farming, yes. But the second we started farming, we started selectively breeding and genetically engineering food immediately.
Oh, so
Yes,
we're talking
Andrew.
about.
Yes. It's not Bible Bees. It's not Bible Bees 2, but there is one. Yes.
So
That is the appropriate level of excitement.
before any domestication,
Yeah.
food was organic.
So, like, if we look at like wild, any of the wild root, tubers or anything that we got from Mesopotamia, even wild corn, wild fruits, they're all nothing like we have, and not even like we had like 100 years ago, because we always selected this tree gives the best one, so we'll take seeds from that tree. We've done selective breeding in plants for fucking millennia.
Well, being fully bull, fully man as I am, my ancestors used to eat grass. So
Well, we've genetically modified those grasses to make things like fucking, was it celery and shit? You know what I mean? Like, so many things. Like, people used to eat broccoli, and that's like that's basically mustard seed, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, we've selectively bred and crossbred this shit for ages, and we've done crossbred. We've known about crossbreeding and pollination since before Mendel. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I'm a scientific Luddite,
So,
but that's why you,
Mendel is
Zach, take the wheel.
So Gregor Mendel is one of the first people that ever really had
I know him.
he had the first solid idea of evolution because of pea plants and the flowers that they make.
Yeah, I did my little charts with the Mendel peas in school. Yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. So like we've been doing that shit since before Mendel, you know what I mean? So like the idea that it's just that we live in a different society now, so we can't rely on organic, as they like to put it, farming. Because you know what's really organic that happens all the time? Manure that we used to collect and put on things. And like all this different shit. It's like, fuck off. We fucked around with nutrients and soil for, generations.
So you're
So,
saying that BS is one of the most organic things there are, right?
yeah, it certainly is.
Yeah,
That's why the magic mushrooms grow on it. You know what I mean? Holy shit. But yeah, so yeah. We
indeed.
once we did once used to cure diarrhea with mercury, because we've always been really, really good at medicine, and we've always been really good at food. But the idea that we could sustain like even a small section of the humanity that we have now on organic farming is just implausible. Is there better ways we could do it? Yeah, but every time we find a better way of doing it, all these GMO or what do they call them now? Genetically modified foods or whatever. I think it's a new thing. Genetically engineered foods or something. Like they don't give a shit. It's always going to be one step too far for them, and it doesn't matter how much it gets better. Like even if we made like vertical farming that gave us all this land back and nature and all this shit, they still wouldn't like it because it's too sciencey. There's something weird about science getting involved with like making nature things, and people go, "Well, we can't do that." I know we've been doing this to livestock and plants for the entire time we've been, not hunter gatherers, but now's the step too far because we've made it easy and cheap and less labor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Look, the critique I will give about this, because I do know about chemistry, is that organic doesn't mean better. That's a naturalistic fallacy.
Yeah.
And so there's tons of organic plants and herbs that'll kill the crap out of you, like really quick. So, and then there's a lot of artificial foods that'll be better than those, like more healthier than those nightshades and all this different stuff that you're going to take and kill yourself with. So,
because part of the problem with it is like you said, it's the term natural. It's marketing, isn't it? People have been marketed. Have you eat this granola bar? It's natural. It's good. Or this cereal is more natural. It's good. Like it's just marketing. So people have been conditioned to think that, well, if it's not natural, well, then it must be better. Yes, Monsanto is definitely knobheads. And it's not Monsanto anymore, is it? They changed their name to try and get rid of the stigma. And that is part of the problem with GMO foods. Is there's too much of it is linked up with like Monsanto or whatever they're called now.
Well,
And
and the weird copyright laws we have where you can't copyright quote unquote natural products, but you can copyright genetically modified products, and that's why Monsanto is like the
yeah,
monster that they are, is because they're taking over all the farming industry because they have patents on all the stuff that they do because they're all technically patentable, other than just like natural stuff that you can't patent.
yeah. And instead of like getting angry at the governmental systems that make that happen, it's like we need to get angry at the whole industry, and it's like it's the government's fault for letting it happen. It's not genetically modified foods, it isn't lab grown meat, it isn't any scientific processes progress, sorry, that we've made in like the food fields. It's governments and corporations and greed. But we can't think about those things because it's much easier to demonize science than the want of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely in the legal aspect of it because that stuff kind of needs to be changed and figured out because I still can't even understand the copyright rules for YouTube. Like, did you know you could play a song for like less than a minute on a short, but if you play that same song for like 10 seconds on a long form video, you're going to get tagged for it.
Yeah,
But
it's fucked.
I played that for 59 seconds and I made a short and you guys didn't do anything. And it's like, but I do it for 10 seconds on a horizontal or a landscape mode video and you guys are
Yeah.
fucking all over my ass.
I mean, like somebody had one of my old streams. Somebody played something in the background by accident, and they tried to pull me on that. It's like, it wasn't even on the stream properly. Like, it's bad.
Yeah. So just imagine like if YouTube rules with the stuff we have with gripes with copyrights, but it's actually going into the
Yeah,
copyright fields of actual patents and stuff like that.
and when it's going between companies that have money to do stuff about it as well,
Yeah.
and like could fight each other, it gets silly, and it gets. That's one of the things about the legalistic side of shit like that. It turns into like the definitional shit we was talking about before. It becomes super complicated for no reason because everybody's got to split a line somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you got to monetize it. You got to make a living. But it's not making a living, it's making a greed.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Right. Next.
Yep.
Bam. If chemtrails aren't real, why can I see them? You know, when I watched the film Don't Look Up, I thought they were making fun of me for being a conspiracy theorist. But in fact, no, it was propaganda to in fact make us not look up so we didn't see the chemtrails. Do you not understand?
To be fair, in England, how murky it is all the time, you guys can't see any chemtrails at all anyway, right?
That is because we have an airport every 3 miles, and everybody's just leaving and coming and going, and it's not really bad weather that's coming up from being brought up from the Caribbean from the jet stream. It's nothing like that. It is just the amount of chemtrails just blot out the sun. It's like Beijing in the 90s. You know what I mean?
What annoys me with the conspiracy stuff, and it might be a mixed blessing,
Yeah.
but it makes you have to research every fucking thing, and that's tedious and annoying. So like I'd look up in the sky growing up, I'd see the things, I wouldn't think anything of it. Then somebody whispers in my ear, they're poisoning you. They're poisoning you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I look into their side of it, and they're like, it's this and this and this in the chemtrails. I'm like, okay, what's the other side of it? It's this, and this. And I'm like, I don't know who to believe. But the point is, like, I was happier when I just looked up and I saw a little streak in the sky and I wasn't fucking deathly afraid for my health. You know, ignorance is bliss.
Do you know how I found about chemtrails? Do you ever remember a video? It must have come out 2010, 2012 maybe, and it was some like crazy woman in a backyard, like spraying vinegar in water at the sky because there was chemtrails up there, and the vinegar water was gonna mist in the air and save her.
I don't believe I saw that, but I think
Oh,
it's funny.
shame.
Funny
I should
to
find that
hear.
again. I do need to find some old conspiracy theory videos. Some of those things were mental, and to think that people watch these things and go, right, yes, that is true because of them. Like like this chemtrail thing is like, so we have contrails, right? That actually come from planes because of the temperature difference, condensation, blah 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 blah. Air pressure and such because it's so high up. And then they go, yes, that contrails are a thing, but you see, they put something extra in it because it didn't used to last as long when I was a kid. And it's like, okay,
Well, with
is
a
that?
lot of these,
Sorry,
with a lot of these overarching conspiracies, there's always a they, right? A them,
yeah,
they, and they're doing this, and it's like, whenever that kind of thinking comes out, I'm like, they're poisoning the sky. What do they have to gain from it? They have to breathe the air like everybody else, you know?
yeah.
But they live up in the hills. Well, that's not how it works. All this shit gets swirled around and circulated. It's not like it's just over the cities and they live up in the mountains and they're not going to be affected by it. That's not how shit
Because
works.
well, there's either they live in the mountains, they could have or I've heard that there's a space station they live on, or like there's like a
A
cloud.
cave, a bunker.
Yeah, like it's got filtered air. There's like a plane that rides around. Like this, that's the thing. I just don't get how you can like be a part of a group where there's no firm beliefs on any like on any of it, right? Where they go, right, the only thing we say is chemtrails exist, but all this other shit is completely nebulous, and we'll all argue forever about it. But it doesn't seem weird at all. You know what I mean?
How's this for like a story idea? We do a story where it follows a guy who is one of the them, the
Yeah.
theys, the them, and he's super rich and whatever, and like you'd think he has it all made because we all have this idea of what they are and them are.
Yeah.
But you follow him on his day-to-day life as he lives in a bunker, and like his life is entirely miserable because he has to accommodate all these different conspiracies that are all linked to him. And all the logical loops and fucking threads you'd have to connect to fucking
Yeah.
make
Oh,
his life
yeah, that sounds great.
like to accomplish all this fucking villainy that he does all over the world.
Yeah.
He himself would be a fucking miserable chap having to fucking pull all this off. Dude, it's like, is it even worth it? Like, it would be a good movie, I think.
Yeah, it would. Well, it kind of reminds it like it's kind of like that, but different. It reminds me of the last thing Mike Myers made, the Pentaveret. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So it's a TV show they did for Netflix, and it's kind of a sequel to So I Married an Axe Murderer because his mother is a conspiracy theorist and she believes in the Pentaveret, and the Pentaveret are a group of men that run the world. But the thing about the Pentaveret is they're not a bunch of like evil people. They're all really nice guys who are just trying to make the world run well. And
Yeah.
it's really
Yeah.
good.
That's what I think, and this applies to a lot of different areas. And so I'm always thinking when people are they theming, the powers that be. I'm always wondering, like when COVID hit, my mom is a super religious, right wing, anti-vaxxer, anti-masker, like very
Yeah,
strongly on that stuff. And I would sit there and talk to her about it and be like, Mom, like, if you were running the government and the responsibility for the health and welfare of millions of people are under your decision making capabilities, like, how would have you done it differently? Because we have a contagious disease here, we're learning about it on the fly. It's not like we just already knew this stuff. This is what like an established thing. They are learning on the go. If they think masks are appropriate, would you tell the people because that was the best information you had at the time you thought to fucking save a lot of lives? And she wouldn't sympathize. Let's take away the freedoms.
yeah.
I'm like, well, I know, but do you want the people who are watching over you to be like not giving a fuck about your welfare? Why are they watching over you at that point? You know?
Well, that's that sort of thing is actually what made Penn Jillette not a libertarian anymore. Because he was like, I went to this fucking libertarian conference, going, all right, there's a fucking contagious disease around, so I'm going to wear a fucking mask because it's a contagious disease, and they all kicked off at him, and he's like, what the fuck? Why are you kicking off at me? I thought this is the Libertarian Party, right? And they went, yeah, and he goes, so don't I get to do what I want?
Yeah, don't I have the right to wear a mask? Like,
Yeah,
what the
and they were
fuck?
like, no, and he's like, well, I'm not a libertarian then. This isn't libertarianism anymore. It's a fucking cult.
But what's the point of electing leaders in a government if it's not to fucking facilitate the will and health and welfare of the people that they're to represent. And so they're humans too. Give them a little fucking grace, as my Christian mom would say. Like, why harsh their mellow? Like, why are you giving them such a hard time about it? Like, if can't you just be charitable and think maybe they're trying to do the best they can in the situation that's fucking presented itself?
I mean, it depends who it is, to be honest. It depends. Like, I'll take Fauci at a fucking, and go, yeah, you were taking advice as it came in, but I ain't taking that from Trump when he's like, maybe you should like inject some fucking cleaning fluids, some bleach into you or whatever. What else? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Just get some disinfectant in there. That's what it was. If you just inject some disinfectant and shit. Like the
This
thing is,
is
the problem
this is
is the right wing can like they cultivated conspiracy theorists, right? Because I remember conspiracy theorists, and a lot of them, and like the dangerous conspiracy theorists were usually either like the far left ALF types, animal liberation fronts, or like the Kaczynski. Was it Kaczynski? No, the fucking Ohio Obama guy. Fucking and shit like that, right?
it was because Ted, right? Ted Kaczynski.
Yeah, it might have been, yeah. But then a lot of the conspiracy theory stuff was very left wing. The anti-GMO stuff was, oh man, don't have the Franken foods, man. It was a lot of hippies, a lot of conspiracy. Of course, we didn't go to the moon. The government made it up, man. You know what I mean? Conspiracy theories were very kind of out the left wing, and then all of a sudden, the right went, do you know what? Actually, these people will latch on to anything if we accept them, and they accepted them, and then they believe anything they say. So I think that I definitely think Trump's team had a problem with COVID with that side of it, because they wanted to like both be. I think they were trying to help people, but also trying to like perpetrate all their conspiracy theory, like hand holding at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and the whole thing took place during a transition anyway, so it's like it popped off at the election period when the transition
Yeah.
of power was happening. So there's already mass confusion because it's the passing of a baton to, like, you know,
But
people.
like,
It was already ugly. It was an ugly situation politically
yeah.
already, and then to fucking throw that on top of it, and it's like,
Well,
well, now we're fucked.
we had similar things, but ours was very classist, right? So like there was kind of a thought over here in Britain that this was a disease really for the lower classes, and the upper classes wouldn't get it because like as
Because
one
that's how
member,
biology works.
yeah, no, seriously, as one member of parliament said, one elected official to government, Jacob Rees-Mogg said, we have a nice convivial spirit, so we don't really have to worry about it. Like, I remember Boris Johnson went around as the prime minister, fucking going into hospitals, shaking hands and hugging people like he was kissing people with AIDS in the 80s. You know what I mean? Going, see, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to massify and do whatever. And then he got COVID. And then his friend, former Prime Minister David Cameron, said, oh, well, I've played tennis with him and he'll be fine because he plays tennis and he's a really strong tennis player. And not like, oh, he's healthy. Just like, no, he doesn't lose at tennis, so he won't lose at COVID because, like, well, it's an upper class thing and it's all in your mind.
He's a winner.
Yeah, it's like the classism on that shit was rife. It was mental.
And that's funny because it was just religious on this side of the pond, where it's like, well, that person's covered in the blood of Jesus, so of course we're not going to die.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, the pastors are dropping off like flies. It's like,
Well,
well,
it's
we
like,
fucking told you.
yeah. Well, it's like before we see that one that was like, oh, it had the 5G tower on fire, and it was like, this is how you get rid of bird flu. Well, like I had my friend who brings me, assorted things. He was telling me that his friend worked for like the main fucking phone company and was like literally installing, and showed him how he was installing the virus into the 5G towers to like.
That's the thing that really happened.
Yeah, and he's like saying it to me with like a straight face, and because he's the guy that you get your things off. You got to treat him decently, or you don't get decent stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, this is so fucking annoying.
See that's the other aspect of the conspiracy minded folks and the religious is like they're extremely gullible, and you could take advantage of that if you're a evil grifter. And be like, and often people do, apologists. But
I don't want to mention names, Hunter.
yeah, we don't want to mention names on this channel, but
Yeah, Trinity Radio.
Braxton Cunner.
Braxton Cunter. Sorry. Did I say Hunter? I meant Cunter. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. But so in a
Weepy fat
way,
man.
there's a lot of that talk around the atheist community. If I only didn't have any morals, I could just fucking
Yeah.
grift off this shit and take advantage. Like, I'll sell you a chemtrail proof suit, and it'll just be like a plastic bag you wear. Fucking, and people will probably buy it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I just made a bunch of money off of your dumb idiocy, like your fucking gullibility. I'm fucking.
Well, I saw someone before in the chat say I had to I kind of had to a couple people actually saying I had to unfriend people because they were becoming too conspiracy minded and shit. And it's like I do that with a few people, but I also had to stop listening to Bill Hicks because Bill Hicks is so fucking conspiracy theory minded. It's silly. I couldn't take it anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's one of the connections to he is
Yeah.
Alex Jones fucking conspiracy.
Yeah, I love that. That is my favorite conspiracy. It is also the most believable conspiracy.
They don't look alike to me. Like, I don't see it.
See, the thing is, right? Alex Jones at a very specific age looks like Bill Hicks at a very specific age. Like, if you look at Alex Jones from the mid 90s and then you look at Bill Hicks in his Sane Man DVD stand up show, they look similar there. That's where it comes from. There's very specific times when they do. But I had to follow up with Bill Hicks because what's it fucking Penn Jillette and Penn and Teller show bullshit back in the day, where they were debunking things. Do you ever heard of that?
Yeah,
they have one just about conspiracy theorists in general, and there's one guy, and it's mental. He looks like Terry Gilliam from Monty Python, and one of those French hats. I can't remember what the fuck they're called, like French mime hats, and he does almost the entirety Bill Hicks. The guy's just got elected. They walk him into the room. The speech almost verbatim, and it's like I can't, man. This guy's stuff's being peddled around these circles. I can't deal with him anymore. Because it made people that would. I noticed that it made people that thought they were completely skeptic believe. Just really JFK was definitely killed from a guy on the grassy knoll. Just thinking of you, Jackie John. Doing Bill Hicks bits and talking about the moon landing being fake, doing Bill Hicks bits, and it's like, man, Bill Hicks ain't that clever, all right? He's funny, but can we stop with this conspiracy theory bullshit and pretending like he's actually really good when a quarter of all of his material is just the most horrendous conspiracy theory bullshit?
Well, you just take his greatest hits.
Yeah,
remember for the good stuff.
Great ones. I got two guys came up to me after the show and they said, "Buddy, we didn't like them jokes that you made about God." So I said, "Forgive me."
Yeah,
I'd
say compartmentalize, but that's a dirty word since the myth vision.
See, the problem is I can't do it with comedians because, I really like comedy, and until recently, I loved stand-up comedy. It was one of my favorite things. You know what I mean? And it's stand-up comedy influences people so much. And that's why they all went to the right. The right paid them more to influence people. And that's why the comedians were becoming a bit hackish because they were getting old and people were getting sick of the routines. They didn't want to make new stuff because they couldn't be a decent comedian and change with the times. You know what I mean? And not even be woke or any of that bullshit. Just I don't need to tell the same style joke that I've been telling for 40 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell jokes on both sides of the aisle, political and religious.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes I make fun of atheists too, and it's like, well, humor is humor. If you can't laugh at yourself, that's a sign you have to lighten up a little bit.
Oh no, totally. But I'm looking at all of the moves to the right very cynically because I remember half of their content. You know what I mean? And it's like, nah, you fucking. It's weird how you all did it at the same time, though, isn't it? You know what I mean?
That's weird how trends shift like that. But that's following the trends. That's like, especially if you're motivated by like a YouTube type algorithm or something, you're
I
kind of
know,
see
but like stand-up
trend
comedy,
shifts move everybody. Like,
I don't know, because stand-up comedy's never been that big a right-wing thing. The whole point of stand-up comedy was always it was about punching up, and now it's become about punching down.
well, I don't know. I don't want to get into this talk. It's like
Fair enough.
I'll get myself in trouble. But yeah.
It's like my last thing I'll say on it is about Carlin, because I'm so sick of seeing right wingers use Carlin on stuff, and it's like you do not understand any of the jokes this man was making if you think he was on your side. Like what? The amount of people I've seen use Carlin's like anti-feminist bit and go, look, he hates feminists, and it's like, no, he was actually asking for more intersectionality. Literally play the 5 seconds before it, and it changes the whole meaning of the joke. But it became very easy to do. People became adept at clipping out what people say, and making little compilations, and making people say from the past things they didn't. And it's like,
Yeah. So the punching up, punching down thing is, if you put yourself in a place where you're always at the bottom, you can't punch down. So, like,
yeah, but wasn't always part
that, that,
of stand-up was being the knobhead, and I always kind of saw it anyway. Do you know what I mean?
that's
Was
the
being
charm
that
of
person.
self-deprecating humor, though.
Yeah,
Like,
that's the word I was looking for more.
if you're good at self-deprecating humor, then you can get away with punching down, because there is no punching down, because you've already put yourself down there in the dregs as well.
Yeah, I did like some of fucking. I always liked Jeff Foxworthy from back in the day. I couldn't get into fucking Joe the Plumber and shit, but Jeff Foxworthy always had a little place in my heart from being a kid and loving the fucking. You might be a redneck if jokes and like his fucking bits on like the the Olympics being held in Atlanta and shit. So yeah. Anyway, let's get back to memes because I'll top comedy all day. Because yeah.
Yep.
All right, this has already come on. I've added this one twice.
I can't read that.
I'll read it because I didn't think this through properly. So, if the Earth were really a sphere, from a pilot's point of view, the horizon would always tend to go down. Meanwhile, in reality, the horizon always remains at the same level, only possible if the Earth is flat and on a level plane. See, a level plane. Ha 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 ha. Get it? And it
Like I
has
said,
nothing. Sorry, go on.
I'm not scientifically minded. I've already think I've established that. But what I can tell from this picture is that the Earth would be really tiny if the plane was that big.
Exactly. That's the thing, right? That you don't need to know science or anything you just to look at that picture and go, the plane is relative to the Earth is not that.
Yeah, that's more like a giant starship from like a Star Trek sci-fi thing or something. It's how big it is.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing with the plane anyway. You're not supposed to be level. You're kind of supposed to be up a bit, otherwise you don't get lift and you drop. But hey, it's just the thing about this one. It was just more the misrepresentation of the sizes of that image compared to what really happens.
Yeah, I won one. I got it. The meme wasn't wasted on me.
What are you on about? You've won quite a few. You put yourself down far too much. The self-deprecating humor will not wash.
That's why, so I could punch up at flat earthers.
Well, you don't need to punch up at them. They're already there. It's flat. There's no up.
If I'm at the bottom of the barrel, then there's no more down to go, right?
Yeah, but they're already there. We're punching level, friend. It's level. It's flat. It's level. There's no up or down.
Yeah, we're in the barrel in this hypothesis. I get it. We're getting down and dirty with them.
So, why did they lie about the shape of the Earth? Without the globe model, the Big Bang model wouldn't be considered. Without the Big Bang model, the theory of evolution wouldn't be on the table. Without the theory of evolution, extraterrestrial seeding mankind is over. Without all of these lies, people would start thinking about the Creator, who we are, where we come from. They are hiding God. You live on a plane, not a planet.
I assume they mean like a flat plane, not like a starship, right? We're
Yeah,
not on a
yeah,
spaceship. Okay.
yeah. Well, I think it's more of supposed to be the pun of a plane and planet.
Oh, it's clever. Those guys are clever.
Yeah, but slippery slope. We started with the globe all the way back in Greek times. Those Greeks were just starting all of this. They knew that one day Christianity would be formed, and then one day they would work upon that guy going into a well. I can't remember his name. There's a Greek guy who went into a well in fucking Athens, and then he went into a well in fucking Cairo or Alexandria at like noon, and he went. The sun is at a different angle in each place. And then worked out the because of that angle, and Pythagoras, who worked out almost very exactly the size of the Earth back in like 400 to 600 BC, something like that. So
Yeah, he was a smart dude.
it was a slippery slope. He knew that one day Darwin would be there. So
What I think about like
oh,
flat earthers,
plane.
I think
Sorry.
about flat earthers, and I think about them in the same way as Yeckers, young Earth creationists. Is
Yeah.
they never have a good model to compete with whatever they want to bash on. What is the alternative? God spoke a snow globe into existence, and that's going to be like satisfying for you.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he didn't even construct it from
really
like,
old, you see.
yeah, he didn't even take it to his workbench and make it. He just like snow globe, and then there was a snow globe. He talked it into existence.
But hey, it's just the slippery slope. Knowing things leads to knowing other things, and eating from the tree of knowledge and good of evil makes it all bad. How dare you have knowledge of anything? You should be but a lonely worm, and let the demons and God control you like the puppet you are.
All right, I have a challenge for you, Zach. Let's try to reword this, but
Okay.
from the why do they lie about the shape of the earth, and now we're gonna bash on the creationist model. So without the Bible, the God would not be known about, would not be considered.
Well, without the Bible, you wouldn't know about Jesus, and without Jesus, you wouldn't know about the Jews, and without the Jews, you wouldn't know about Moses, and without Moses, you wouldn't know about Adam, and without Adam, you wouldn't know about God.
Oh yeah, and without the Jews, you wouldn't know about Enoch and that famous picture of him poking his head out of the flat Earth model from a long
Going,
time
oh
ago,
yeah.
like looking into the stars.
Enoch, the world's first photobomb. I
He
like
was
it.
the world first astronaut.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait I'm going to read through the book of Enoch eventually on this channel. I can't wait to do that.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
There's some great shit in there.
Fun fact about Enoch is like, because I came from a very fundamental biblical literal background, that was the first extra biblical book I ever read, and
Yeah.
I was terrified to read it. But I was at the same time fascinated and curious about the character of
Yeah.
Enoch, because they only give him like 2 sentences in the Bible.
Yeah.
And so but they're like, he's so great and he walked with God. You're like, this guy sounds cool. I want to learn more about him. They're like, oh, there's this book about him. And it's like, well, it's in the Ethiopian Bible. It's not really,
Yeah.
the real Bible. And so it's kind of extra biblical. And I was like still scared at that point because I only wanted my truth coming from the 66 books.
Yeah, well, I remember coming over here because I was a fundamentalist Baptist, and fucking I came over here and I went to a Catholic school, and fucking they had different books, and I'm like, oh, fuck's going on here? No one ever told me there was different books. I didn't know about any of this shit until then. I'm like, so yeah, the Catholics just have these different books for no reason. And I'm like, I mean, that's weird, man. Why are you making your own books of the Bible? That's weird.
Yeah. Either they're adding shit or I'm missing shit. I
Yeah,
gotta figure out which one's true.
and either way, it's not good for me.
Yeah, either way, it's not. I live my life by biblical means, like, or there isn't the Bible.
Yeah, but then when you find out that there's the Bibles, you start going, I don't know, Matt. I don't know.
But that's too much. That's too much. My head is blown.
Right.
And then you're like,
Oh, yeah.
Enoch. Well, he's in another Bible, but why the black people have their own Bible? Ethiopians. Like, this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and then you go, hey, but then you go, but the Bible says that Ethiopia's there at the beginning, and so interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Ethiopians are they're favorable in the 66 books, and so I think like, well, why not look at their Bible if like they're talked about favorably in the book? I
Mm.
don't know.
It's a creation land. It should be told to all. Right. I'm going to fix my computer, and what's this one? There you go. You can read that one out.
The last time for the slower members, for the last time for the slower members in the audience, our Earth is flat and motionless, just as it seems. The sun, moon, and stars all revolve around us, just as they seem. For all you slow people out there in the audience.
Yeah, man. I totally feels you, man. I'll fucks with that. Yeah, they don't move. Just so I never see them move. I've stared at them for hours. They never move across the sky. I don't know what you're on about, man.
Okay, so technically nothing is motionless, and this is why, well,
Yeah,
going back to that four thing where it's like order to chaos or whatever, people think that like there had to be a prime mover who pushed the thing into existence. Is like, technically, if you want to get super technical, everything is constantly moving all the time, so there's no reason to believe that
yeah,
uh we're, whatever happened at the beginning of time, quote unquote beginning,
yeah.
wasn't already in motion.
Because like it has to be because there's nothing to hold it up. It's not like the whole point is everything's falling all the time. That's why parabolic flights are mental, because you're just creating space on Earth because you're just falling all the time. It's just falling. Everything's falling. It's going in a direction because gravity's pulling it one way, but then it's in a body of things that's bigger that's being pulled in a different direction, but it's and from another thing, and that goes on for a while, and people can't get the concept of that because that it's really big thoughts, and it's like, yeah, but you were born that way. You're not going to feel any of it. It doesn't, it
Yeah.
feels motionless because you've never not been doing that yourself.
Well, I'm even talking down to the atomic level. We're always having neutrons, electrons, protons spinning, all that stuff.
I
Because
mean,
one of
I
the arguments for Aquinas, one of his five ways, is the argument for motion, and he
yeah,
gets the shit ass backwards at once like science started catching up.
yeah, but hey, who could? I always love how we've got to defer to old church fathers like that, or like fucking. I know Aquinas isn't a church father, but like people like
Yeah.
that of old Christians of yore, and they're like they didn't know about gravity, they didn't know about atoms, cells, or anything, and but they have all the wisdom, right?
Well, yeah.
And
The
then
amount of times I've been asked if I read the Aquinas' five ways is like I can't even count anymore. It's like, you must not have read Aquinas' five ways. Like, yawn. Shut up, dude.
yeah. Sorry, I have to. I am one to take requests from the audience, so you know. Uh, The last time for the slower members of the audience, our Earth is flat, motionless as it seems. The sun, the moon, and the stars all revolve around them just as they seem. Is that good enough here?
That was just angry enough, yes.
Yeah, that's the one German accent I can do. I can do that, and I can do gay German, yeah, but that's about it. Earth is flat
Ah,
and
yes, the
motionless,
gay German.
just as it seems, yeah. The sun, the moon, and the stars all revolve around us just as they seem. Hmm?
It's either the methed out German or the gay German. There's no in between. Sorry,
Yeah,
guys.
and the last no, I can't. I've done too much German now. I can't do Russian.
Yeah, don't even ask me. They do too many like guttural growls and stuff. Like, oh,
I can do it. I just fucking if I get locked into one accent, it's hard to go out of it. It's like I've lost my ability to do Irish because it just turns into Scottish all the time because I like doing the Scottish accent.
yeah, the
Anyway.
Scottish one's way funner than the Irish one.
Oh, I don't know. It depends. There's lots of different. The Irish has more range, so you could be all like, whimsical and gay, and like the old school meaning of gay, or you could be like really harsh and like, hard in the British sense of like, I don't know, I'm a big tough guy. Like Irish is a mental accent.
Mm.
Bam.
Speaking of the gays,
Oh, the gays are using we gays have started to use windmills to waft. You know, so like the Luftwaffe, homosexual mists into your homes. All of them, right into your home.
that's why all my house plants are growing so good.
Yes, we have put a little bit of gay in them.
And they're so colorful too.
See, it's also my fat German kid accent. I've got a fat little belly full of chocolate.
Yeah, some might say that my house plants are doing fabulous.
Oh, this is doing so fabulous. Do you know what the gayest thing actually is about German? Do you know what they call? Do you know what German for mobile is?
Hit me.
Handy. Oh, mine handy.
Can I borrow your handy?
Oh, I just need your handy for a second. I've lost mine. I love shit like that. It's like so over here you got a thing called chavs, right? And they're basically just people that wear tracksuits and burn things and attack people for laughs, right? And that's all they do. That's their entire life, and they do that for decades. See, we call them chavs because it's like council housed and violent or some shit, right? And in Scotland they call them neds, and it's just great. There's just this entire group of really intimidating, like half coked up fucking, tracksuited up knobheads that want to be like British gangsters stabbing each other up in alleyways, called
Wow.
Neds. Look at them Neds over there, and it's like,
Well, I know there's a stereotype about that. Like they have the tracksuit mafia
yeah,
and
yeah.
the
Well, where
Marvel.
I live, it's no
Shows.
stereotype. It's everywhere.
It's the real thing.
Yeah, man, parts of Britain are rough. People like because they don't have guns. People aren't afraid of people. So like people just will like attack you for looking at them, like literally. They just go, oh, look at what you. They go, you get this. What are you looking at, eh, dickhead? What? What are you doing? What are you looking at? What are you doing? Now, fuck off. Like if you say anything even vaguely at them, they come up like this. They bump their chest against you and like, oh, come on, then. What are you doing? Come on, come on. And usually after about 10 minutes of that, eventually a fight ensues.
And then someone gets stabbed.
It happens.
So
It varies.
what I'm
It varies from place to place, but yes.
what I'm hearing from you right now is that this is a pro-gun lobby to help minimize and eliminate knife violence.
Nah, British people have guns. If guns were properly legal, like they are in America, British people would not care and they would kill each other very quickly. I mean, it would get rid of all the chavs. So, do you know what? I'm for it.
When I'm thinking about gun violence in Britain, I just keep like picturing you guys all having muskets.
I mean, there is parts of Britain that are totally like that. If you get into some of these like green field parts of Britain where it's like all you see is like little stone houses with thatched roofs and fucking like just green fields as far as the eye can see and roving hills, all lined with the same hedge or the same broken stone fencing. Because what they do for fencing a lot of these places is they just pile broken stones on top of each other and say that's a fence. Not even like cement them together or anything, no mud, nothing to hold them together. They literally just put them there and hope that a wind doesn't blow it over. And they're like, "Oh, it's picturesque." And it's like, yes, these people still wish they lived in the 1700s, back when Britannia ruled the waves.
Yeah, that's all I was gonna say. It sounds like something out of what's that? Americana authors or artist. Norman Rockwell. It sounds like a Norman Rockwell painting.
Yeah, man, Britain's a weird place. Britain's a very weird place.
Yeah. Well, I have to take a fiver. I'll be back. Just hit the next one up.
Hey, no worries. I have a little thing to play anyway. So, do you know what? We've all been doing this for a little while, and I have hired a doctor actually to come on and to speak to everyone. Maybe like once a month, maybe like every time I do this, to talk a little health with people. And today he's not going to talk about really any health related stuff. He just wants to show one of his successful cases in the past, and maybe some of the powers that you might get. So, I'll just let me do. I'm still getting used to things, so it could take a minute or two, Junior, to get this all sorted. So, but hey, where's my intro? I have made an intro for this as well. This intro has been here for ages. I hired a doctor ages ago. Things happened. Lawsuits. I won. Don't worry about it. But hey, here we go. Hi everyone. I've fucked up the camera. I'm a doctor, and I'm gonna help you with your health. And everybody should care about the health and the various ways that you can find better health that might be outside the sphere and the realm of what you might usually be taught, because pharmaceutical companies care more about making money than giving you the real health, right? So then you need people like me, who is a PhD doctor. I'm a real doctor. Don't worry about it. And I'm gonna bring to you some. I have a successful case that I want to show you. And I am going. I just have a little video to show you. It's from a while ago, because I am established. I'm an established doctor. I'll tell you when at some other point. It just says on the sign now, established, because I, as an established PhD doctor, know what is best for you and your health. Of course, that is why I have been hired to come to you today to show you the successful cases that you yourself could be, because the human body is so capable of things. Did you know that you only use 7% of your brain? Imagine if you unlocked that other 93%. What magical, mystical things could your body maybe achieve if your brain was working at full, real, power and hardness? So right now, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you case A. He was the first of batch B of my I have been accredited 37 times with my studies, so don't worry about it. You don't have to look them up. There though. And I'm just going to show you.
This is being recorded in February 2012.
See, because I have been established for a very long time, and he was with me for no less than 73 years. And in the end, he was a success. And we can see exactly how, one might gain powers if you listen to the simple medical advice that I have been paid to bring you today and other days in the future. Hence, not today, but also today. So,
See this cloud? Well, this is a psychic weather control video by T. Chase. See, I have make videos where...
what? Did he say psychic mind control of clouds? Yes, he did. And you too, Sir Badam in between, we don't discriminate, could gain such powers as one teacher.
exert power over clouds and wind. This cloud, I'm going to try to change
Weather
it.
control! Do you like the X-Men. I like the X-Men. We all like the X-Men. One of our favorite characters collectively, of course, is Storm. Would you not like the mind powers of X-Men Storm characters? Look at the powerful
Shape. See this kind of roundish cloud? I'm going to try to make this into a T-shaped cloud.
We're make it a T-shaped cloud, just like our baby Jesus. The T-shape of the cross. Hallelujah.
T. Turn
T.
this cloud into a T-shaped cloud.
Make it a
Make
T-shaped
this
cloud.
cloud into a T-shaped cloud. T-shaped cloud. Make this cloud into a T-shaped cloud. Make this cloud into a T-shaped cloud. Make this gonna try to make this cloud into a T-shape
T-shape.
by psychic power.
With
Make this
psychic power.
cloud into a T-shaped cloud.
Make it a
Make this
T-shaped
cloud into a T-shaped cloud.
T-shaped cloud. See?
Make this cloud into a T-shaped cloud. Cloud. Make this cloud into a T-shaped cloud. T-shape,
No,
T-shape cloud.
cloud.
Make this
T-shape.
cloud into a T-shape.
T-shape. Cloud.
T-shape. Make this cloud into a T-shape.
Cloud. Sorry, we've not been formally introduced. I'm the doctor that has been hired to come on, say every time Bottom of the Barrel is on to provide some medical advice. And right now I'm showing off one of my successful cases because I am established for many years. And since I'm established for many years, and this video is from 2012, and he is one of, if not my most successful, but definitely one of, because I could show others, more successful people that have worked and studied underneath me and gained better medical knowledge to gain such powers. So, I'm just showing the results of that. I don't know what you're on about. This isn't medical. This isn't false medical information. I have been cited in 37 medical journals. I said I've been established. I am the good doctor because I am a good doctor. You see, I do good things like tell people about the medicines that no one should hear about. Because really, that is, what doctors should do. And I don't profit from this at all. Just the money that I get paid for my appearance.
Cloud into a T-shape. T-shape.
Dude. No, he's not tripping, sir. He is not tripping, sir. He is, in fact,
T-shape cloud.
using his mind powers gained through unlocking through my health techniques the rest of the 97% of his brain to be able to cyclically manipulate clouds. I am a genius, yes. Exactly.
T-shape. Cloud into a T-shape.
See? Even the people see this man in him working in action and show appreciation. Beep, beep, indeed. Like, wow.
T-shape cloud.
Oh yeah. Dude. See, the thing is this beautiful man has more than this video.
T-shape.
This because he knows from in the past exactly when See, this man has many videos and many videos, and he can psychically manipulate all the clouds into all number of requested shapes, and it's all recorded on the camera. I mean, if we're supposed to believe a camera in space, oh, oh well.
Oh, here I am.
Hi. Nobody could hear you because I
Was
went.
I was just talking to you behind the scenes the whole time.
Yep.
Like, who the hell's Zach talking to you? What a weirdo.
I forgot because I had to change scenes to play this video properly.
Uh,
Oops.
so
Oh well.
everybody missed my T-shaped clued impressions. Damn it.
Well, that's because I was giving you the secret knowledge behind the scenes. And all of you, if you but listen to me, you could gain such knowledge as well. Do you not wish to control the clouds?
Yeah, it's bad enough I have to worry about muting myself on my own stream, but to come on here and it's like,
I am a doctor, okay? I'm a doctor. I'm not a streamer. I don't work with the technologies. I'm not good with the keyboards and the mouses and the hard drives and the floppy disks and the WinRARs, okay? I'm not good at this. I study. I read the medical journals. I write the medical journals.
and most importantly, you save lives.
You damn right, and I empower people. I don't worry about such things. So I'm sorry, but
T-shaped clues.
I was hoping he was going to say it
Clued
immediately
into
after
a
I played it.
T-shape.
And I like his breathing too.
If you were controlling the clouds, would you not be exasperated? I certainly would be.
Yeah, I imagine it takes a lot of effort.
T-shape clued. T-shape clued.
See? Do you not see? It's definitely turning into a T shape, though.
Bar at the top in T-shape.
Bow with the
T-shape
clued.
T-shape clued.
And the thing is, right?
Clued into a T-shape.
This is not this man's normal voice.
Clued into a T-shape.
This is the
What?
voice. This is the
That's
voice
it,
you use
into a T-shape clued.
to control cloud.
Oh, because they only
Cloud.
respond to a certain frequency. I get
Exactly.
This is being recorded in February 2012. See this cloud? Well, this is
See, were you expecting that voice? This is February 2012.
Hey, yeah, this is 2012 February.
You see that fucking cloud up there?
T-shape
I'm going to turn it into a fucking T shape. Make it a T shape, glued.
But
Glued. Make it a T shape, glued.
he didn't specify whether it was like a lowercase or uppercase, so I don't know what to expect.
But I think we can all see it was a resounding success. So,
Of course.
I'm gonna hand it back to the usual host. I'll see some of you next month. Hopefully, all of you. Hopefully, you enjoyed what was going on.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Doctor.
Where's my layers? I'm good at this. I'm really good at this. Word up, yo. See,
Oh,
did
yeah.
you want? Hi, I hope you enjoyed the doctor that I hired for such occasions. He's a stunning man. His resume is impressive. That's all I'm going to say.
Impeccable, I would say. Yeah.
Yes.
I was a little surprised because when you showed the illustration, I thought it was a Navajo doctor, but then he appeared to be British. Maybe it's like a lineage thing. I don't know.
Hey, one can't help where one's family tree leads them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not judging. I'm just saying I was shocked.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. He's allegedly Navajo, and he's allegedly British, but he is definitely a doctor.
And a good one at that.
Yes. Right, we've got a few memes left, and then we'll get going. We can breeze through them because it's I think see, we got some more birds not real. It's gone
But it's not
places,
real.
and just because I can. Oh, where is it?
One might ask the same about birds. What are birds? We just don't know.
It's the little ringing bell with the question mark that gets me with that.
Perfect comedic timing.
Oh, was it? You think this is destroying the planet, but this is saving it. You might be a moron. You see, because there's one place because China likes ruining things and just put up a bunch of stuff somewhere.
Is that
And
solar
yeah,
panels?
what?
Is that solar panels?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like they covered like basically part of a mountain range in solar panels,
Huh.
and it's like there's better places to do that.
Yeah, that's not exactly. You're supposed to be facing the sun and stuff, and they have it all
Yeah.
weird and wacky. But
Plus, the Gobi Desert would be amazing for that, or whatever. Is it? No, it's not the Gobi for them, is it? Where is it? I can't fucking remember. They have a
I don't
desert
know.
that borders with Mongolia and shit.
Even if I knew the word, I'd probably butcher it saying it. So
The birds work for the bourgeoisie. Fight the power, brother, sister, in between, mother. Yeah, but the thing is you see the cows. The cows are destroying the planet. Though. That's the thing. Yes, the cows are destroying the planet. You see those behinds that they have. You kept my hand keeps on bugging out because of this fucking remover thing. The fucking you see them cows. Them cows all have anuses just like us, and they do a lot of shitting and farting, releases a lot of methane, which fucks up the atmosphere. Who cares what cows do? We could grow them in a lab, and then we need none of this.
yeah,
Solve a lot of problems.
that's why I eat cow whenever I get a chance. I'm just doing my part.
I'm just doing my part. Getting rid of the fuckers. There's too many of them. Just bring it over here. Give me a fork. I don't even need to be dead. I'm raw. I'll take it right off the bone. Fuck them.
Mm-hmm. Just because I care about the planet that much.
Yeah. No. Do you know what? I feel you, dog. Do you know what? It's a patriotic duty.
Yeah. Think of the Think of the children.
Will somebody please think of the children? Nice, pithy. Science just lies, dude. Just lies. See? It's useful in so many situations because science just lies about everything all the time.
Like all of science?
Yeah, just science in
Oh,
general. The problem
damn.
isn't corporate science at all. You know what I mean? It isn't
Yeah.
corporations rigging studies to make themselves look good, and then people hear about it and go, "It's all of them. They're all a bunch of ringleaders, and they're all gonna kill us, spraying silver dioxide into the air and telling us what shape the Earth is." How dare they? They think they know things
I mean, how did Buzz Lightyear get to the infinity and beyond without science, though?
because he's just a toy.
What? You just ruined my childhood, Zach. Fuck.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but a toy doesn't have to know physics. It's just
Ugh.
but the thing
Next,
but the thing is it was still made with science. It just doesn't know that. It just knows that
ne-
it came in a box.
next, you're gonna tell me that there's no beyond infinity.
I mean, that is a mathematical conversation that I don't want to have. But yeah, you kind there's no infinity and all infinities, and they're all different. And I die on that hill.
As I understood it, Buzz Lightyear went to infinity plus one, and so
He went one beyond. That's how he figured it out. I don't have to. He priced and riced. He did the knobhead thing on The Price Is Right, didn't he? I bet 1,000. Well, I bet 1,001.
Well, I would go punch somebody if they did that to me on The Price is Right. I'd be like, motherfucker, the odds of me being up on this stage with you and you're gonna fucking dirtbag me like that, you douche.
I do remember seeing once in the 90s, though, somebody doing that and then it being that person's price. It was like, no, it was 1,000. You win.
That
Like,
would be funny.
simple, pithy. That's the thing. That's the thing about memes. You just look at that and see. Usually, what I did in the last show is I picked simpler memes, right? A little bit, and because part of the point was, look, these memes are so fucking simple and easy. You're just supposed to scroll past it, right? And your brain is just supposed to register that and that it's seen it, and it's not really supposed to stop and consider it, right? It's just supposed to pop into someone's head because it's a meme later on, and they think about something of sciencey, and then they'll think of this meme and they'll go, "Yeah, science does lie, doesn't it?" And then they'll be skeptical of what they're reading. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
Or,
makes sense to me.
that is much bigger.
That's what she said.
Uh, see, look, Kirk Cameron knows what's going on. Science and religion don't contradict each other. It's just the scientists that are lying, because, like before, science is just lying to you. You see, like, does he? It could be for the flat Earth, or it could be for Kirk Cameron and his stupid banana man bullshit.
I was muted. Is this a pro us or a pro them?
Oh no, this is definitely a pro them.
Because why do they make him look like such a goober then?
Because they're Christians. They think this is cool.
Okay, because like if I was doing a meme and then like I made Kirk Cameron look like that, then that would definitely be like part of my meme is making him look like an idiot.
Yeah, but the thing is they what they see there, because look, if this has got old meme, this has got old 2000 memes, like old late 2000s, early 2010s memes mixed with like early shit and like all different generate, because they don't understand memes, right? They don't understand. They've just gone, I've seen this in a thing before. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why I might challenge you on this one. It might be like a Gen Z thing where they're going ironic on top of ironic, because
I mean, that is
he
the
looks
fun
like
of
a
me.
goober, and
Yeah, but
the alternative would be that it's just that the scientists are lying. Be like, well, have we ever considered this? Just that the religions are lying,
mm,
you know? And so maybe that's the irony layered on top of the irony. It's like meta ironic.
well, it's the fun of memes. They can what once they're created, you kind of lose what they were created for, and they can be created for anything unless they're very specific. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they come and turn into Pepe.
Yeah. And somehow, yeah, it's like remember when the OK symbol just meant, yeah, I'm all right, instead of look at that bigot.
Well, it's a Satanist, of course. 666. Look at the fingers.
I sometimes wonder stuff like that if it's just like the worst among them, and I mean like the most sociopathic among them, going, I wonder what we can make these people do and hate. You know what I mean?
That's how I would troll. Actually, I
I
might actually
remember
do something
watching.
like that.
I remember watching the Daily Show, not long after like one of the first bomb attempts on a plane in Britain. The guy in his shoes, right? And they had another Muslim guy on. I can't remember. He was some kind. He had a PhD in something, I think, and he wrote a book about something about how these guys are. And he's like, no, these people are fucking with you, right? They're seeing what they can make you do at an airport, and then he went next. They're gonna like see if they can make you not wear underwear because you can't wear shoes. Do you know what I mean? And the next thing was fucking underwear, and it's like, no, they're fucking with you. And it's like, how much of this shit is like, because like like so Kanye West and his like weird Nazi downward spiral, right? I wonder
Yeah.
how much of that was just like Milo Yiannopoulos just going, I wonder what we can do here. I wonder how far we can make this man go. Do you know what I
And then
mean?
at a certain point, you have to commit. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Because yeah,
Because
um,
like these people
this
like fucking with people, and the bounds knows no ends. In my opinion.
This also would be something I would add into my script for the they them that control the world.
Yeah.
And they would spend an hour out of their day fucking devising devious plans, like you're saying, like just to see who will not wear shoes at the airport.
Yeah. Well,
And
like
like who can we get to wear masks?
yeah. It's one of the things I don't get about conspiracy like thinking in general is like why would you they tell you what they're doing out loud. Do you know what I mean? Like they say the stuff they're trying to do to you, and it's like, why do you need conspiracy theories when they're telling you what they're doing? Why do you need to make up all this shit? It's like you don't pay attention enough. You pretend to pay attention. That's the problem, isn't it?
Because it's even worse than that they're letting on.
Yeah, because like these people are just openly going, no, we're trying to like. They tell you why they're changing the education system. They tell you why they're doing all this stuff. It's just nobody pays attention. Or people only pay attention to headlines.
See,
I'm
but
not.
that's how the devil works, Zach. Like
Yeah.
he only tells half truths. He's leaving out the part that involves the reptilians. You
Well,
know?
you know, my reptilian overlord did say that I should keep stum about that, so I was trying not to talk about it,
Yeah,
actually.
because they want the agenda out there, but they also want the reptilians to remain secret for the day that they fake a rapture with aliens.
For the day the eggs come down and spawn.
Yeah. I mean, if you just read the tea leaves, you could know all this stuff.
I can resize this again now. See,
Watching your natural.
this one genuinely made me laugh when I saw it.
Yeah. And maybe that's God's fault for giving us an immune system. It works, and so you can't deny that natural immunity works, but then like it doesn't work on everything.
True.
so,
And,
so
and and they find out why it works on some people and not others, and then they find ways to try and give it to all of us. It's weird that
yeah, you're like
I've never got. Sorry, go on.
my body can heal a cut and get over a common cold, but for some reason it just won't kick that damn cancer.
Yeah.
Like and actually some of these natural immunities are autoimmunity deficiencies, and it's your own immune system like tearing
Yeah.
your own shit up.
Well, they just find out like within the last couple of years that diabetes, like what I can't remember if it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes, and is actually like 2 or 3 different autoimmune diseases all happening at the same time, and they just didn't realize it because they were looking for one thing and not multiple. Do you know what I mean?
I
I'm sure
don't
it's
know,
something like
but
that.
that's interesting.
But like the thing is Big Pharma does look at your natural immunity and goes, See, I see this being very differently because that's supposed to be like, it's angry that Big Pharma's angry that your body can do stuff on its own. But Big Pharma goes, yeah, but you see, the thing is we want to make money out of that, and we want to make it better so we can make money out of that. So if we're going to make it better than them, it's just the pricing that's the problem. The idea that these companies aren't doing things to help people is silly. The pricing is what rules it out. Like, so when it comes, so you like mentioned cuts, we have found out that yes, in fact, we know why our cuts heal and why they only heal to a certain length, right? And then we know why band-aids and stuff like that make that length without scarring bigger and better. We've actually started to find at an epigenetic level a way to, no, it wasn't an epigenetic level, I said that wrong. We actually started to find a way to increase the width of the bandage can make your natural immune system leave you without scars. And they've gotten to impressive lengths. Like, soon, we're getting really good with shit. It's like this tattoo here got done with that fake skin stuff, because that's what it is. And like it healed within days, and everything kept better because we just went, oh, if we put this layer over it like it's wet skin, it just heals better and almost perfectly. We're finding out how to de-age things. But once Big Pharma goes, hey, by the way, if you take this pill, you'll live for another 20 years, and like actually you'll feel better for that 20 years as well, and might even de-age you a little bit depending on how old you are, right? They'll go, Pharma, just doing these horrible, like it's just Franken fucking whatever, you know what I mean? They'll come up with some pithy name for it and say that it's bullshit, and it's like, yeah, but science and Big Pharma is fucking making this shit.
Yeah.
Like the
Well, I believe
sorry, go on.
a lot of the stuff they're doing does work, but people come into the pharmaceutical industry like extremely naive, and nobody tells them about like side effects, or they either They don't
Yeah.
expect side effects, or they over exaggerate side effects. And as far as I can tell, there isn't a miracle pill that doesn't have side effects. Like, I can't think of anything besides a placebo, but even those like will have certain side effects.
Yeah.
But that's the trade off you have to consider when managing your own health and talking to a doctor like Doctor Feelgood that you had on earlier.
Yeah.
He'll tell you, if you have a good doctor,
Yeah.
like the risks and rewards. Like, yeah, you might
But the thing
save
is,
this, but it's going to do this to you, kind of thing.
I think this is a very American thing as well, a little bit, because like the way that drugs are pushed on TV and like to doctors to sell because they're fucking associated with like, a pharmaceutical company or whatever. It does provide a very, and like they're trying to sell things off label to put the numbers up and all different shit. And you have all these skivvy doctors doing all these dodgy things for money because America's capitalist like healthcare system allows that to be. You don't that stuff, that kind of skepticism is very different over here. Like they
Yeah,
don't go.
you guys don't do those advertisements over there, right?
No, they're not allowed because we have the NHS. So like
That's
we've started to get like private healthcare, and like the Conservatives really fucked over the NHS for it, but people don't know about it because people in Britain like the NHS and know that it's been fucked over and aren't turning against it, which is impressive because usually Britons turn against everything. So hopefully it's going to get better because we don't have weird conservatives that are trying to sell it off anymore.
Well,
So,
over here, the pharmaceutical ads are kind of like a big joke. We just laugh at them, especially like, the last minute of the ad's going to have a list of side effects that they rattle
yeah.
off in hyper speed.
But
And
but that's the thing, though, isn't it? It's that laughing is the doubt that this meme needs. You know what I mean?
and laughing is appropriate a lot of the time, but
No, I
then
get it. But
but
I'm talking about
well,
people that aren't even
I'm
slightly in the know.
yeah, I'm finishing the point.
Sorry.
But we got to think that that target's going to hit the ears of somebody who has that, and if it's a more serious thing or something like that, like the hopelessness feeling that comes with some of these diseases that people get. If you see something on TV, you're like, I don't care how silly it is, but they're showing the happy people dancing in the park with the rainbows and the sunshines and the clouds. Like, do I have hope in this? And so for most of us, we're like saying, "Oh, colorectal dysfunction," where it's talking about poop the whole time. Like, I want to silly idea talking about pooping all the time, but the person who's dealing with the fucking pooping all the time issue, it's like, selling them a little bit of false hope. They're gonna actually listen to the ad a little more seriously than a lot of people are.
See, our conspiracies, it's a lot more vaccine orientated because Andrew Wakefield was from here, and like Tony Blair was the first guy who really bought into it. There's a lot of hippies trying to sell a lot of homeopathy was given on the NHS for a number of years because weirdo hippies said it's totally a legit medicine and they
Really?
bought it. Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Like I used to have a homeopathy department in my local hospital, and I used to go in and point and laugh at them all the time. I'm like, you're helping ruin the NHS. Congratulations, you evil
they're
shyster.
like, well, come on in and try a crystal waving over you. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, that's the other one. There's so many little side shops and like bits of stores over here that have like some either old fat hippie lady or some like young hippie goth lady sat there trying to sell you boxes of just shiny rocks. Going, the 3 for a quid. We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you for very
Yeah.
little. And it's
We're
like,
really taking a loss on this if you think about it.
yeah, and it's like, you fucking hippie bitch. You care so much about all the shit, but the mining that goes on and the destruction for your cheap, shiny rock, that really is worth saying that, you see, this stone is red, so it heals the heart and it's for the blood. And it's like, well, because it's red. Yeah.
Yeah. Duh. Like, you expect it to be green or what? Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. When
Are
I
you a
look at my
moron?
veins, it's blue, so maybe my blood isn't red.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Logic.
there's a lot of people in Maine that I knew that believed that actually. That red blood, it's your blood's actually blue and you can see through your arteries and it's not the outside of your arteries and that it only turns red when it leaves the body because it's magical or some shit.
Yeah. Well, I thought there was a truth to that. Maybe I'm falling for a urban myth too. I
There
thought
is
it
a
was
different
dark.
color between oxygenated and deoxygenated blood, but it's not
Yeah,
blue.
that's why I thought it was like a darker,
Yeah.
and then it turned
Well, it
lighter.
goes light. It goes a lighter red when it's oxygenated. But like when you see the blue, it's just the outsides of your arteries and veins. Fun,
Mm,
right? We're almost done.
let's do it.
This one tickles me as well because it is always the Illuminati. It's always the Illuminati. Why isn't it always the Illuminati?
Just the Illuminati name, though, it's like it's goes to that what you're talking about, like making fun of smart people. It makes Illuminati just means illuminated ones. It means enlightened, and
Yeah.
so like it makes you think that there's like this group that is to be feared, who are people who are enlightened and who have educated themselves or something like that. And I think there's spiritual connotations with the Illuminati, not just you know smart
Yeah, but
people things, but
you see, it's got a triangle and it's got an eye, and you see, it's got the name. The name sounds old and scary, spooky language, and
well,
so
you have to know all the depths of the symbolism though, because the symbolism goes way back to the Jesuits. So like you know there's some history there.
yeah, and those Jesuits leave Bibles in all the hotel rooms, and it's and that's how they know everything because when they are like when they put the Bibles in there, they then also leave little recording devices, and they have all the dirty information on everyone.
Yeah, as an
Oh no,
ex-Protestant, like they would also attack the Catholics all the time, and there would be this, the Jesuits, the Black Pope, and then the Illuminati and all this stuff,
yeah,
Rosicrucians, but it all came down to like the Vatican, and you're like, well, how come they don't let people see what's in the Vatican library? It's because all the secrets are down there.
yeah.
They went around, they took over the world for 1,000 years, they hoarded all the alien stuff and all the freaking knowledge that we need to know, and that's why they're so much farther ahead of us, technologically speaking.
Well,
Those Catholics are.
it's been well documented that the Vatican has been in contact with the alien race, the Galgamets, for a number of years.
That's why they have the Luciferian telescope, of course.
Damn.
We all know this. If you just open up a book, people read this shit. It's right there for you to learn.
Yeah, I wish people would. Do
But I'm not saying it's the Catholic Church,
you know what?
but it's the
Speaking of what you
Illuminati.
was just saying, see, it's all symbolism. You were right.
Yeah.
When you
It's
when
they
you put,
live.
yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that you put on the glasses, sir, and you see, you see what they really say. Obey, do the thing. Half of them are aliens. Maybe you turn into Spider-Man. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny when they put the glasses on; those are all religious symbols. All the
Yeah,
top ones are like there's a neutron or a proton, kind of a molecule thing
because they're all
going.
like different atheism symbols or whatever.
Yeah, but they don't
So
even look like the ones that they're trying to like turn them into in the bottom. Like maybe the one on the right looks the closest, but the
yeah.
Baphomet and the molecule thing, those things don't look nothing alike.
Well, no, because well, it's like when you put the glasses on and they live. It's a woman drinking a beer on a beach. There's palm trees. You put on the glasses. It just says obey. Ah, the Aluba booby.
The Aluba booby.
I like it. See this. I love this one.
That's clever. Another
Yeah.
clever one.
See, it's sea level, not sea curved. I like it. This fucking there's a Christian one I love, and it's one of my favorite Christian ones of all time. It's just like these 4 panels, and it's just like Jesus next to a tomb, and it's like it's a nice tomb. Shame if someone rose from it. I love it.
This meme is the epitome of whatever I say to people when they start talking about common sense.
Yeah.
They're like, well, it's just common sense, this or that. I'm like, well, flat water, flat earth, bro. That's just that's just common sense. And then they're like, oh,
Yeah.
you're so stupid. I'm like, well, that makes common sense. I mean, there's more to it than that, obviously. But if we're going by common sense, like we're gonna end up with flat earthers. Like,
Yeah. Do you know what, actually? I've got a thing for that, actually. Where is it? I'll get better at going, but oh my god. I thought reading this would be easier, but it's not.
Oh, obvious. I'll grant you it's obvious. Trouble is, just because things are obvious doesn't mean they're true.
People, like I say, people enjoy simple, easy, intuitive answers to hard, non-intuitive questions. Because why think when you can just feel the answer is correct, and that's good enough. Because it makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside and explains everything with very little thought. And because everything's just a fucking storybook to most people. It's just a story, and they're the main character, and everything's there for them in some level. And why don't you see it my way? Because I see it my way, and I'm not the irrational one. You are, because I know
Yeah,
what my thoughts are and not yours. Do you know
and
what I
I'm
mean?
common, and so you go with my common sense.
Yep. And my common sense says I don't see a curve, dickhead. It's like, all right, then I didn't realize you could see 60 plus miles in that direction. But thanks for trying.
Hmm.
And that's only 1 degree. You can't see this properly, but this goes back a little bit to what I was saying about gemstones a little minute ago. I'll lean forward a bit so I can see them. It's just basically going on about, do you know what? Look, it's colors, and colors, food colors denote what it does, because what the colors denote what things do. And it's always been that way. Why would you think anything worse? Because, of course, red decreases, all red fruits and vegetables decrease blood pressure and strengthen joint tissue. That's just all of them, you see, because it's red. Blue and purple encourages healthy digestion and reduces inflammation. Just all purple and yellow. It's all reduced just to simple colors. You just worry about the color, dog. You see the color of that skin on that fruit or vegetable? That's all that matters and nothing else.
Hmm.
And this is a Christian thing. This goes back to Christianity. Christianity made this shit. You ever heard of the doctrine of the signatures?
Negative.
So the doctrine of the signatures, I'm pretty sure it's Catholic. It's like from the 1400s, something like that. And basically, they became convinced that since God made everything, that he left little clues in the plants and animals and stuff to tell us what it would affect. So look at that over there. It's called eye bright. Well, that means if you're blind and you have this, it will brighten your eyes and you'll see the light again, because it's called eye bright. Or there's one called toothwort, and if you cut open the stem or some shit, it looks like a little tooth or something like that. And it's like, well, see, it's for teeth, you see? And stuff like that. Like, oh, look, the broken heart flower looks like a heart. It must be for the heart. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is why we need to have nutrition taught in grade schools.
Yeah.
Because this is common sense that we're looking at, but that's not what nutrition classes would tell you.
Yeah, because nutritionists would say that everybody's nutrition's fucking different. And actually having any kind of regimented system for everyone is really silly and actually really detrimental to everyone involved.
Except for one or two people, because they're actually the lucky ones that fit into that regimented system.
Yeah, and don't listen to the food pyramid. It's corporate marketing bullshit. I think they'd say that as well.
Yeah.
Much like what's it called? Your BMI. Your BMI is also worthless horse shit as well. Because it works for one specific part, and the rest of it goes, what? You're 10 pounds overweight. That's morbidly obese. And it's like, no, it's not. Stop it. BMI's fucked as well. Health is fucked in a lot of ways because everybody's individualistic when it comes to health. And it has to be, because everybody's fucking health is their own, and it has all sorts of different factors. But people want to pretend like something. Well, I had high blood pressure and I ate some red bell peppers and it went away. So it must be because they're red and they're peppers.
Yes, red is heart and blood. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, it worked when he did it. So, it's just the placebo effect, but from the other side. Do you know what I mean? So he worked. So it's like when Joe Rogan got COVID and he took all the things and he said, I got cured of COVID because of fucking horse fucking paste or whatever, right? And then he's like, but also I took 65 other things, but it was really the horse paste that did it. Don't worry about all the other really expensive things I did to make sure I didn't die. but it was definitely that one conspiracy theory. Don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Like people will have, aside from people getting paid to tell narratives, people make their own narratives, and if something doesn't accord to it, well, then they forget about it. It's just confirmation. That's what I was looking for. It's just confirmation bias from a sort of placebo effect, and it happens all the time, and everyone's susceptible to it. And that's one of the reasons that they're like, "Oh, skeptics just can't believe anything," and it's like, no, it just means that we look at everything a little differently because we understand that our brains are very imperfect and people are trying to control us from different ways for different reasons, because everyone's trying to control everyone a little bit. And like corporations want to make money off you, politicians want you to vote for you, and everybody's doing everything for a reason. And everybody's got little ways to make people do stuff. And it's about being a little bit more aware of that fact and literally nothing else. Instead of,
Welcome to
oh, they
society.
just think the universe never exists all the time. They don't even think they exist. Sorry, go on.
I just wanted to thank John Lavelle for his update.
Damn. Well, I wish you luck, sir. I wish you luck on that.
Make sure
So,
you eat those brown foods to help the digestion.
yeah, that's brown foods help the poopies. When you look at brown, what is it? Brown.
Yeah.
Helps the
So
poopies.
eat cinnamon sticks and bark
Oh,
and potatoes.
oh snap! I was trying to be all highbrow and not do the fat poop humor, and there I am talking about poopies.
Yeah. It's John's fault. Blame him.
I got to the end as well, because we've reached the end of this month's memes.
Oh, that was a long one. Can you cycle through them quickly so I can
Yeah, it's
remember
fine.
which one I need to pick for my pick of the day?
So we've
I have
got.
a couple. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to decide if I want to
I've got to go
pick
backwards, right?
pick based on which one's funniest or which one I can interact with most. I don't know.
We
That's
got
probably
that.
my funniest one right there.
Yeah, that is my funniest one. We
Yeah.
got seeing them. We got that one.
Pass.
And that one.
Eh. Maybe that's for the funniest too. That might, because his head looks so tall.
You see,
He looks like a cone head.
to be honest, that is what most chavs look like with that hat, and he looks like a very chavvy guy naturally, I guess.
Let's give him a tracksuit, right?
Yeah. And give him, see what they like to drink over here. They don't drink beers. They don't drink wine. They don't drink anything. They don't even drink like really shitty stuff. But they drink. I mean, it is really shitty stuff. They drink onion cider.
I don't even like the sound of that.
No, it's fucking horrific. It's worse than it sounds.
The birds are not real.
Yeah, we've got
I'm gonna put that back in the chat for anybody. So you can go ahead and watch the Birds is Not Real documentary because it's fun and enlightening.
Yeah, that sounds like it. I'm gonna watch that.
The gay windmills one, that was pretty good
windmills.
That
was the one we did all the voices for. But I don't think that should cloud one's judgment for memes.
I'm trying not to be biased here, yeah. Nah, that one was dumb. And I don't even know what that one says. Oh, that was okay. I know what that one
that
is.
That was the planes level on the Earth.
Yeah,
so
the giant plane meme.
Yeah,
that's the one. If I have to talk about interaction, that's probably my one right there for interaction, but not humor. No. No. Yeah, that one was. That one was funny, but you said that one might be a faker, so I can't throw that in there.
See, I've seen other Christians saying shit like that, but that Pastor Alex definitely is a fake guy.
Yeah, that one's too charged, too much. Yeah, get that out of here. That one was educational, but no. 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 All right. So that was the last one, I think. Oh, there was that one too, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go for humor because I'm more about humor than being smart.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to. What do you mean? Yeah. That was really quick. Yeah, you fucking dummy.
I was just agreeing with you with how judge means. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. I know. I'm not unself aware. Um.
I'm just
So
talking about the memories all the time. It's fine. It's fine, baby. I'm trying to insult you. I love you, baby. Don't worry about it.
yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the Kirk Cameron meme because not only did it have the funny conehead Kirk Cameron, but it was like meta ironic in my view, and I couldn't tell who it was making fun of, which makes me like it more.
And we have a winner.
Yeah, that's gonna go in the books for me.
Oh my God.
Well, all of them would get that, to be fair, because, oh my God.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I think that really is the heart of why I'm a goth, because I look at everything in the world and I just do that at everything. I go, oh my God.
Yeah. And you like drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes.
Well, you can't truly live without smoking and drinking coffee. It's the goth way.
All right, well, it was a pleasure. Thanks for having me on
Hi,
today.
it's been fun. And I'll see some of you tomorrow, hopefully all of you, because tomorrow I am back with Jimmy Tux as we read through Braxton Kunter's core facts as we try and finish up the rules section. There'll be no video this week because I was very poorly and sick all weekend, so I've done no work. And, it's been fun. And I'll see you all soon tomorrow and such. Where's the buttons? That's the buttons. Bye. Oh yeah, actually, does Mr. BS have anything he wants to say or show before I click the end broadcast button?
Watch the TED Talk. It was entertaining and informative, and I just did a short yesterday about the whole Jordan Peterson flop, which was fun. If anybody hasn't seen that,
it's very good. I was laughing for no less than 25 minutes.
yeah, John pegged it. Like he knows it's sure to be boring. But if it's BS, that means boring stuff, Lewis.
Damn. Harsh. He says all sorts of mean things. And then nice things, and then demands money. He's like a pimp.
No. That's good. Nobody ribs me on the internet, and I don't know why, because I rib a lot of people, and nobody ever like gives me crap. So, John Lavelle, you're getting points just for like standing up to my bullying.
Bam! There you go. Winner. Winners all round. In the end, we learned that it was all about friendship all along.
Do 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 do.